and Chuck, and you guys have been talking a lot about Auto Strike, but they get to meet one of the man behind the scenes today.
Yeah, Blaine is Chuck's son-in-law, and he's been working with the Hughes optioneering team for quite a few years now. So he's going to walk us through. We've been doing these Thursday sessions as more of a training. I've taught you guys my wrap orders, the elite spreads. Nate's talked you through some different things. Today, Blaine's going to walk you through how the Chuck Hughes team has been doing it for years now. They've got a little bit different approach, a little bit different method than what I use, and it's really, really powerful. So I wanted to bring him on here. We'll have a full training session. He's going to walk you through the option selection, the stock selection, and then answer some questions from there. So Blaine, it's great to have you on today. I'm
Yeah,
gonna let the
absolutely.
room
Thank you
fill
so
up
much,
before we get
Graham.
rolling. Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nate as well. Thank you both so much for having me on your live stream today. I'm excited to be here, and I have a nice presentation. Should have a lot of great
Cool.
info in there for all the members, and I think they should really enjoy the details I'm going to share today about how as you said, a little different approach to taking debit spreads. How you do your wrap orders is a little different than how we approach the deeper in the money spreads, but um, you know uh, different ways to accomplish the same goal, right? Find
Yeah.
success in the market. So with that, if it's okay, I'll go ahead and take over my screen share and go ahead and
Well,
hop into the presentation.
Nate, I don't. Did you have anything to cover this morning?
Uh, um, yeah, let me front run you, Blaine, for 2 minutes, if
Yeah,
you
no
don't mind.
worries.
Also,
Sure,
before
yeah,
Uh,
you go, Nate, let me front
oh
run you.
wow,
Did you
you're
see
gonna front
Eli
run
Lilly?
me. You're gonna double front
Did
run.
you see Eli Lilly this morning?
No, I didn't.
Up 15%.
Did they have earnings?
No,
Somebody has to make
Oh,
up for UNH. Holy smokes!
did
I
they
know.
got some kind of drug approval or something?
Yeah, it's a pill to compete with Ozempic.
Oh, well, that
Uh,
makes sense.
So no more
Uh,
shots.
oh wow. I don't think I'm hardly holding any LOI, so that's depressing news first thing in the
yeah,
Well,
morning.
the good news is that the highs are still 980s or something. So
Yeah. Yeah, but we did talk about XLV, talked about trading some health recently, so hopefully some people are kind of in that on the rebound trade. But yeah, so the reason I wanted to front run is because usually I do a free weekend trade, and because it's Thursday, I gotta get my weekend trade out there. And so today I thought I'd pull one. Actually, kind of this is a little bit more in Blaine's court actually of kind of going something in the money, more of an income trade using a debit spread. So let me just jump through this super quick, and then I'll hand it over. But I didn't want to tune off without fulfilling my mission to give a free
your
trade away
duties.
for the weekend. So this is something I've been working on. I won't get into all the details or anything right now, but I've been working on this little thing called the income machine, trying to find opportunities. You guys know I really like to trade the sectors directly, so I trade a lot of XLP, XLU, XLE, XLF directly, and this is kind of designed to find the best income opportunity of those main sectors. I'm gonna start doing it on some individual stocks too, but for right now, it's kind of a scoreboard for this. The idea is it's going to tell you, hey, this XLP today is the best. It's going to give you some filters like why is it the best, short term, long term trend, snapback filter I have in there, and some stuff like that. Then you'll go in and choose a strategy, and it'll kind of give you an aggressive income versus a steady income. So again, I'm just blitzing through this to show you kind of where this derives from. We're not going to go into that today. But to get into, okay, now how do we trade it? I'm going to go ahead with the recommendation of XLP. So just if you take a look at XLP here, you see it has been one of the healthier sectors now for, really since the decay started because it's consumer staples. It's going to be more defensive in nature. You've got some solid stocks in here that have been green on some days where everything else has been red. So no surprise that it's holding up a little bit better. Now, with that being said, it's not a super directional sector. I mean, if I'm on the weekly chart right now, so you can see had this huge run here when things, as volatility has been high and things have been uncertain. But in general, even if I actually go a little bit further back here, let me just go to 10 years, you can see as I scroll back, uh, generally up, positively up. But this is about going all the way back 5, 6 years, it's up 80% or something. Whereas you go to XLK, it's going to be up hundreds of percent. XLC is going to be up hundreds of percent. So we're not talking about a massive, directional sector. We're talking about something that holds up fairly well and has some, some sideways moves in there that sometimes last month. So how do you trade that? Well, for me, and I think Blaine's going to talk a little bit about similar ideas here. I like taking something that doesn't require big directional moves, something that's going to give me enough income while I stay below price. And so immediately, I like something that's kind of below our weekly open here, if I just zoom back in here, you can see we opened in this $80 range. I want to see, hey, can I stay below $80 here and put a trade that's going to pay me enough? It can pay me 10, 12, 15% to hold it for a couple weeks. And as long as XLP, which again should be pretty defensive and sturdy in this environment, can kind of hang around and grind, it's going to pay me a decent ROI. So to do that, I literally, guys, this is not rocket scientist until my new machine is totally done and it does all the work for me, which is about 80% of the way there. I literally just go look at the option chain. So I'll just go in here. I'll type in XLP. I'll flip this to vertical so I can kind of quickly see, the spreads that are already created for me. And then I'll just go out and look at what I can get from a value perspective. I keep accidentally kind of teasing what Graham and Blaine are working on, but part of the idea is here not to do this work, right? To not go through the option chain and spend all the time doing this. But I can go down here and I can look and see, okay, if I go out to May 2nd, which is a shorter term than I would typically do, but just to give you an example, and I want to get below $80, I can jump in here. I'm probably going to end up paying like the entire premium if I look for this. So you can see $79 to $80 in the next 10 days, you're going to end up paying, the entire value of the spread. You're not going to get any income left, no meat left on the bone here because you're not giving it enough time and you're not going out of the money now. But you start to give it a little more time, maybe give it about 30 days and go into a similar trade. And now you can start getting a little bit of opportunity. So for example, this one, 76 cents. So on that trade, what's that? You can get about 28% ROI now over 30 days if it can maintain that ground. That's a little more in line with what I'm thinking. And the cool thing about that is now, even if we do kind of center back in this craziness, but just kind of pick back up and end up somewhere in the middle of this range over the next 30 days, we can still make a pretty nice trade. So this is kind of a trade that I would look at and say, again, I would normally take a little more time, go through the entire option chain, see if I can find a better opportunity, but something in this range where you have 30 days just for the price not to drop 2% on you, and you can make 20, 25%. If you get in for 80 cents, you have about a 25% ROI if it expires at full value. Why? Because you have 20 cents left on the other side of that 80. 80 is your risk, 20 is your reward. 20 into 80, that's a 25% ROI. Now, the spreads are pretty wide here because there's not a ton of volume yet, 29 days out, and XLP is not one of the super heavily traded sectors, but these are ones I'm just patient with. I put it on there. I try to get filled. If I can get filled for, 80 cents, great, I'll take it. If not, I'll wait a little bit, bump it up to 81 cents, and just be super patient on these spreads. And to be honest, even if you don't get in today, you get in Monday, we're out 30 days. You normally have some time to get filled. So just see if we can get filled here real quick for our official free weekend trade. And I'll go ahead and type this one in the chat for you as well so you can follow along. But this would be the May 16th. So buy to open the May 16, $79 XLP call here. And then sell to open the May 16, $80 XLP call. Again, debit spread here, define risk. If you can get filled for 75 cents a contract, that's what you're going to pay. And as long as you just keep an eye on it at close, it's not in between expiration, then you're not really going to have any early assignment risk because it's a debit spread. So like I said, I'll start here, see if I can get filled for about 76 cents. Good chance we'll probably have to kind of trace this up and be patient. Oh, actually, there you go. 76 cents. Filled immediately. All right, boom. So I probably paid a couple pennies too much for that if it filled that quick. But now I know, okay, so my risk there is $760. My potential reward there is $240. And just to give you the official number instead of doing it off the top of my head, I now know $240 divided by $760. I'm going to make about 31.5% if 29 days from now, XLP is able to stay above this entire weekly bottom. So it's got about a 2% move, 1.7% move here. And the cool thing, again, with debit spreads is, let's say we get a spike. Let's say next week has a really outperforming week on XLP. I'll just close it for 95 cents, get out of there, not even worry about what the next 3 weeks look like, and not even take the risk where I can get a nice, 20% ROI ahead of schedule. So lots of different things that you can do with this kind of trade. Even if it has an ugly week next week in this crazy volatility, you're not dead in the water with a debit spread like a call where you're just bleeding all that time value. Pops back up above 80 and you're still in good shape. So that's one of the reasons I like trading these. And hopefully, Blaine, that ends up being a good setup for what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. No, first off, looks like a great trade there, Nate. So I'm sure the folks are appreciative of you sharing that one. But yeah, it was a great warm up for what I have to share today. It's kind of in the same vein of the I'm going to be talking about today with the in the money debit spreads. Again, still a little slightly different take. We tend to look a little further in the money, but with that, before I go ahead and bury the lead and say too much before I get into the presentation, maybe I can go ahead and just hop in, and if that's okay with you guys, I'll go ahead and take over. And
Yeah, take it away, man.
Perfect.
awesome,
And just
perfect.
curious here in the chat, how many of you guys have traded this type of style that Blaine is talking about today? How many of you have even traded deep in the money, let alone, slightly in the money, but deep, deep in the money? Anyone here? And if you're new to it, just say new in the chat.
Yeah, well, either way, whichever it works out, Graham, I'm going to start off today's presentation with a lot of basics. So even if people have never even heard of what a call option debit spread is, I know Nate just did a great walkthrough right there. So, have a great, start. But, if today's their first time ever hearing about this type of trade, they're still trying to figure out kind of the basics of what it is. We're going to go through all that today and knock it out. And then we'll hop more into the specifics about how our auto strike system works. So
perfect.
With
And
that,
guys, keep in mind, this is free today. Blaine's going to walk you through everything so you can get the strategy. They are going to have a masterclass with Chuck live later today that you're not going to want to miss. We'll cover that here in a second.
Yep, absolutely. So folks, we've kind of been alluding to this. This is our personal strategy here at the Hughes Optioneering team, and it's the auto strike options. And so we're referring to our auto strike strategy, and this is looking at trying to identify deeper in the money debit spread, setting you up for strong income opportunities with a high probability of success of becoming a winning trade. So, with all that said, let's go ahead and answer this question. First off, what is auto strike option? So the auto strike option system, this is going to be an automatic algo-based trade finding system that's going to scan across the market and find top 3 trading opportunities on any given trading day. Now, auto strike is specifically tasked with doing this. It's looking to identify call option debit spread trade opportunities. And below is just a snapshot. This is just a quick picture of actually just what our actual trade finder system tool looks like. You can see a couple opportunities spotted just yesterday for Take Two Interactive. It's a gaming company. See Palantir, it's been a huge momentum name this past year. Even though it's struggled a little bit of late, it started to recover and started holding up a little bit better. And then, of course, Netflix. So you can see those 3 opportunities it found yesterday. But just sit tight, folks, because I'm going to have more to say about auto strike here just shortly. But first, we have 3 very crucial subjects that I have to cover first. And these are some of those basics I was talking about. So first off, as I was saying, we're going to talk about what is a call option debit spread. You may have never even heard of this type of trade before. Maybe you've just traded stocks or ETFs or something more basic before. So we're going to knock out the basics to get started. And then we're going to cover just how do call option debit spreads work? Kind of how does it function? How do these trade around? How do they end up profiting? Things like that. And then finally, we're going to go over and touch on how does the auto strike system identify the trade setups that it finds. Following this, I'm also going to touch on our infinity trade strategy, so I'll get to that a little bit later on. And this is going to allow traders to take a winning call option debit spread trade and allow it the chance to continue to gain beyond, potentially well beyond, the trade's initial expiration date, unlocking much greater returns. And then finally, I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of Auto Strike Trade Finder tool. And during the Auto Strike walkthrough is my treat to all of you for attending today and for having me on live, Nate and Graham. I'm going to actually be sharing with you the top 3 trade picks that Auto Strike has found for today, absolutely for free. So folks, if you're watching today, make sure you have your notepad ready, handy, so you can write those top 3 trades down. So hopping into the basics, folks, remember we're talking about just what is a call option debit spread. So this type of call option debit spread trade, this is a call option based trade that is a non-directional in nature, meaning it has the ability to profit. This is an in-the-money call option debit spread, to clarify. It has the ability to profit if the underlying stock is up, flat, or even down by a certain amount at option expiration. Now, with call option debit spreads, it is possible to achieve a 25 or even as high as sometimes as 40% return if the underlying stock is up, flat, or even down as much as 10% at option expiration. Now, when you initiate a call option debit spread, the spread has a built-in profit potential right from the get-go. And given the non-directional nature of the trade, this is going to give it a higher probability of profiting than a directional trade. And a call option spread is constructed of 2 separate call options working together as one single trade. And here's just some characteristics that these types of trades are going to share. So these options are going to share the following qualities. They're going to be for the same stock. They're going to share the same option expiration date. And the way our team trades them with these auto strike strategy, both of these options are going to both be in the money. Now, in order to initiate an in-the-money call option debit spread, this is what a trader would have to do. They have to do the following. First, they'd look to buy to open an in-the-money call option, and then also they would look to sell to open a related in-the-money call option, call option, just with a higher strike price. Now, initiating this type of trade can be done in several ways. So the first way, the call purchase and the sale can be performed simultaneously, which is personally our preferred method. That's what we do largely with the auto strike system. Or one could even look to purchase a call and then at a later date down the road look to sell a call, and we call this legging into a call option spread. But for today's purposes with auto strike, this is what we focus on with the auto strike system. We're solely going to be focusing on the simultaneous method of entry. We're looking to simultaneously buy and sell that call to put that call spread on. Now, just a couple of attributes, just characteristics of these trades. So the cost or value of a call option debit spread is simply just the difference between the options premium. So you can see the short calculation there. You take the long call premium, subtract from it the short call premium. That's going to give you your entry cost or the current value of that call option spread. Now, also a call option spread size. This is going to simply be the difference between the two options or call options strike. So you're going to, again, you can see the formula here. We have the short call strike. You subtract from that the long call strike, and that's just going to give you your option spread size. And these are two very important things to know. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you an example of just what I'm talking about here. So here's just a hypothetical example. So just say I was looking to enter a call option spread on ABC stock, which is trading at $100 per share. So I would look to go ahead and initiate my call spread doing the following. I'd look to buy to open the ABC June 20th 80 strike call, and let's just say hypothetically it's trading at 22 points. And then also simultaneously, I'd look to sell to open the ABC June 20th 90 strike call, and again, just say that's trading at 14 points. So since I've selected these two options to build my call option debit spread, this would be considered a 10-point call spread. And again, you can see it's just simply the difference between my two call option strikes. So just the difference between 90 and 80, that's a 10-point spread. Now, additionally, to determine my trade's cost or current value, if you're looking at it after you put the trade on, since I know each option's premium, this is how I would look to do it. So you just take the two options premium. So you would take your long call premium of 22 and subtract from it the short call premium of 14 points. So you can see doing that right there, that would give you a cost of 8 points, or what that would translate to is $800. So that would be what your cost would be to put on this 10-point debit spread. You'd have to pay $800 to take this trade. Now, since we know both the call's size or the call spread size and the call spread's cost, with that, we also now know what our maximum risk is on the trade, as well as we can calculate what our maximum reward is. So the call spread's maximum risk, this is just simply going to be your entry cost, what you pay upfront to put that trade on. So in this case, my risk for that trade would be $800 in the hypothetical trade. Now, a call spread's maximum reward or profit potential, as we like to refer to it as, can also be calculated using this info as well. So a call spread's maximum profit potential can be determined doing the following right here. So you're going to take your spread size and subtract from it the spread entry cost. And by doing that, that's going to give you your dollar max profit or profit potential for that trade. So going back to our hypothetical ABC call option spread, the one I just showed you here, just came up with, you would see I would have a maximum risk again of $800. And then you would see my maximum profit potential, given this was a 10-point spread. I paid $800 for it. That means there's a $200 gap right there, or a 2-point gap. So that means I would have a maximum profit potential of $200, or which translates to 25% for that trade. So with this call option debit spread strategy, these in-the-money call spreads, these are going to be a defined risk and defined reward type of strategy. So up front, exactly how much you stand to lose, as well as how much you stand to gain right at the time you place the trade. So there's no gray area there regarding the risk or reward. So now that we've gone ahead and covered the basics about just simply what a call option spread is, up next is how does a call option spread trade work? How does this function? What are the mechanics of how this trade works? So call option that is purchased for the trade, this is going to profit if the price of the underlying stock increases, of course. All of you who've traded options before, you probably know how call options work. If you buy a long call and the stock rises, that the value of that call is going to increase. Now, conversely, if you were to sell a call and the value of the stock were to decrease, well, then the value of that short call is actually going to increase. It's similar to how, if you were to buy a put, just, kind of a different way to do it. But anyways, as I was saying, if that call option that you sold, this is going to profit at the price of the underlying stock decreases. And this is really important. This is one of the really key things of the strategy. That call option that you sold is going to provide some downside protection if that stock price begins to decrease. So that's what gives you that wiggle room and bit of cushion with these in-the-money debit spreads that really makes this non-directional type of strategy shine. So going on, you can see that the full profit potential of the spread, this is going to be able to be realized at option expiration as long as the underlying stock price closes at or above the strike price of that call option that you sold. So that short call strike, that higher strike price call that you're selling to open at option expiration, as long as that underlying stock price is trading at that call strike or higher, then that call option spread is going to stand to realize its full profit potential. Now, if you sell an in-the-money call, then the price of that underlying stock, because of it's an in-the-money debit spread, the underlying stock does not have to increase in order to realize the full profit potential of that spread. Now, just a few benefits, again, talking more about the benefits of this in-the-money call spread, how we like to trade them here at the Hughes Optioneering team. And most of the time, we often can look to realize a 25 to 40% return, sometimes even higher given individual trade setups. If the stock is flat at option expiration, and also profit if the stock is down sometimes as much as 10%, in some cases even more. I have a couple examples later on. I'll show you where it's actually even more downside protection. And this is, again, using the simultaneous entry method for call spreads. Now, of course, you can achieve a higher percentage of winning trades when compared to a directional option strategy, kind of like how Nate was touching on earlier, if you look to profit when the underlying stock is up, flat, or down. So that's, again, the beauty of this in-the-money call debit spread strategy is it has the ability to profit whether the underlying stock is up, flat, or even down by a certain amount at option expiration. Whereas, with a directional strategy, if you're just buying a long call or buying a put, you have to rely on that stock to move in a certain direction. You really only have one way for that trade to win. And by achieving this higher percentage of winning trades, this can give you that edge you need to become a more successful trader. Now, again, as we kind of touched on directional options, they require the underlying stock to increase. If you're buying a long call, that stock has to increase in order for that trade to profit. And in volatile markets, much like we've seen lately, Graham, I know we've seen a lot of volatility lately. These volatile markets, they can result in getting stopped out of these types of directional trades very, very easily. And these volatile markets can very quickly result in a 100% loss for a directional options trade if the market were to move against it. And, just say, for example, if you purchased an at the money or out of the money call option and the underlying stock were to close flat or even down at option expiration, then that trade's going to stand to lose a 100% loss for that trade. So that you just get absolutely crushed on that trade if that scenario played out. Whereas call option debit spreads, the in-the-money type of spreads that we trade, they have this built-in downside protection, just built in right off the bat, that can allow you to hold that spread much longer and be able to weather some of these volatile markets without having the chance of being stopped out quite so easily. Now, since we've gone ahead and covered our first two crucial subjects that we have to knock out about call spreads, let's go ahead and time to explain how the auto strike system is able to nail down the top 3 call spread opportunities in any type of market condition. So folks, this is how the auto strike system does it. So the auto strike, it's going to be using our proprietary auto strike indicator, which is built into our spread finder tool. And it's just constantly working behind the scenes. Any day the market is open, looking to analyze the long-term, intermediate term, and short-term trends for stock, along with using a short-term acceleration indicator, as well as built in with an overbought and oversold indicator to find stocks that are on a buy signal currently on any given market day, any day the market's open, and it's looking to scan the Russell 1000 index. That's what our tool does, just running in the background automatically. Now, auto strike actually begins this process just shortly after the market opens. And after all the buy signals are found by the auto strike indicator for that day, the spread finder program then ranks those buy signals from the strongest down to the weakest, so top to bottom. And the spread finder tool then starts at the strongest buy signal for that day and begins working its way down the list to find the top 3 buy signals with call option debit spreads that meet our specific criteria for how we like to trade these call option spreads. And generally this process is finalized somewhere around 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, and at which that time, with those that have access to our members that have access to our auto strike trade finder tool, they can begin to access those fresh trades that have been found for that day. Now, unlike any other indicators or scanners or products we've had in the past, use the member. You don't have to download or install anything. There's no external software you have to use, nothing like that. You simply just have to log on to our member portal. You just click the spread finder tab, and the top 3 stocks with their call option spread trade picks for that day, they're just going to be displayed for you. They're right there. Now, a little bit further about how the AutoStrike Trade Selector works. The option data is going to be updated every 15 minutes on the spread finder on that member portal. And the option pricing, as we all know, these option prices, they can change constantly throughout the day, even by the second. And so the spread pricing obviously is going to change throughout the day as well. So due to these fluctuations, there are going to be times where a call option spread meets the criteria at the beginning of the day, but also, may not meet the criteria at a different point during the day. Those option prices might adjust just slightly to where it just barely falls out of our criteria. Maybe it's right on the margin of meeting all of our criteria or not. So in this scenario, there's a potential for one of the top trade picks for, just for a temporary gap throughout the day where possibly no spread could show for that stock pick for, just about 15 minutes or so. Although, later on, once the option pricing gets updated again, remember it's doing this every 15 minutes, there could very well be a new spread pick that, it's very likely a new one will display. So here's just some basic spread criteria. This is how we at the Hughes Optioneering team like to trade these in-the-money debit spreads, and this is what's built into our AutoStrike Trade Finder. So it's looking to seek out in-the-money call option debit spreads that have a minimum profit potential of 25% or at least $200. So, we're looking for it to have that 25%. So, we don't want to hop into a trade where the risk reward is too out of balance. We don't want to be jumping into one where we have to, pay too much and there's too little possible reward out there. So we like to, set a bare minimum threshold for these trades to have a profit potential of 25%. And just a very easy rule, Nate actually kind of touched on this earlier, a very easy rule to remember how to guarantee this when you're looking to put on a call option debit spread like this is if you just limit your cost of that spread to 80% of the spread size, then you're going to accomplish this goal just right off the bat. So, remember that easy rule. If you just limit your spread cost to 80% of the spread size, then you'll automatically have at least a 25% profit potential for that trade. Now, the other thing, this is again just a basic spread criteria that the AutoStrike tool is looking to do. It looks to limit the trade's losses if that stock price is down by 7.5% at option expiration. So again, just bare minimum here. If the stock were to decline by 7.5% at option expiration, then this spread should stand to lose no more than the inverse of the trade's profit potential. And obviously, of course, the more downside protection, the better. Of course, we often find trades that if the stock were to decline by 10% at option expiration, the call spread still stands to produce its full profit potential. But this is just the bare minimum. We want to see that stock, if the scenario where the stock were to fall by 7.5% at option expiration, then that spread should, again, lose no more than the inverse of the trade's profit potential. So this is just a visual representation of that right here. So this is just a snapshot of one of our basic call option spread calculators. If you were to go out and hunt out these opportunities manually in the market, you plug your trade data in here and it'll, show you the profit potential and downside protection calculations for your trade. So you can see right here, say you were to have a 25% profit potential for an in-the-money call option spread, then we would want to lose no more than 25% in the scenario when the stock is down 7.5% at option expiration. So you can see that illustrated there in that image. Now, folks, remember, as long as the underlying stock price at option expiration is trading at or above the call strike that you sold to open, then the call spread does stand to automatically realize its full profit potential at option expiration. Now, with that, I want to go ahead and hop into a couple recent AutoStrike trades. These are ones that were actually found just yesterday, 2 very strong trades that the AutoStrike system identified that they looked like great trades yesterday. So this is one right here. So this was actually for Palantir. So this was going to be a Palantir May 16th call spread. And so this is actually a snapshot of in our AutoStrike Trade Finder tool. Once you pull up the spread that it finds, this is how it displays for you. So you can see all the option information over here. It has the symbols, the option bid ask, the midpoint pricing. So you can see all that shown right here. Now, so you can see specifically, this was looking at the Palantir May 16th, of course, 2025, and it was looking to buy to open the May 16th 70 strike call and simultaneously sell to open the 75 strike call. So again, this is going to be a 5-point call option spread. You can see our cost for our spread is actually right here. It was coming in at 3.76 points for that spread yesterday. So, you can see actually that Palantir, when this snapshot was taken yesterday, the stock was trading at $92.71 per share. So this spread is quite deep in the money with us selling that 75 strike. So this has a lot of downside protection built into it, but also you can see there's a lot of time value in these options. So there's actually an incredible profit potential for this trade as well. You can see with this one right here, if you get in at the entry cost of 3.76 points per contract, you have about a 33.33% profit potential for this call option spread. You can see that's even in the downside scenarios here. So just saying a bit further about this trade. So since Palantir was trading yesterday at $92.71 per share, that stock actually has the ability to decline by 20%. And then this call option spread that AutoStrike found, it would still be in the money and actually would be still standing to make its profit potential in that scenario. So that was an absolutely incredible trade that it identified yesterday. Here's one right here for Netflix. This is, again, a May 16th call option spread that AutoStrike found just yesterday for Netflix. So again, it's looking at the Netflix May 16th, 2025, and it's looking to buy to open the 880 strike call and looking to sell to open the 890 strike call. Again, you can see all of our option information over here to the left. You can see, again, this is a 10-point spread here, just the difference between our strike prices. And so you can see that the cost for this call option spread is coming in at 7.85 points for this spread. So based on that entry cost, you can see that this trade actually had a 27.39% profit potential, given this a 10-point spread, and we're paying 7.85 bucks for this. And looking at the downside protection, you can see, again, it meets our criteria there. It's still having a nice profit. Even if the stock were to be down 7.5% at option expiration, this trade would still make a 21.12% profit in that scenario. And in fact, since Netflix was trading at $961.63 per share yesterday, that stock actually could drop nearly $74. It could shave $74 off of that stock price from yesterday, and that trade would still stand to make money at option expiration. So a lot of downside protection built into that one as well. So folks, after showing you some examples like that, I think you're probably likely beginning to see the power behind this AutoStrike call option spread strategy that I'm describing to you today. And of course, like all options trades, the AutoStrike call spreads, they do have an option expiration date. So this does pose a question. So if you're looking to close out a winning call option spread and the stock's trend is still very strong, more often than not, what we would like to do is we'd like to go ahead and continue having exposure to that strong trend well beyond the original expiration date. So, your question would likely be, how would one do this? And this is precisely where Chuck's and our team's infinity trade strategy comes into play. And this is going to allow you to maintain exposure to these strong trends well beyond the initial spread trade. So after we go ahead and close out that winning call option spread, if the underlying stock's trend strength still is intact and still remains, we're going to go ahead and seek out a brand new call option spread to look to roll over into. Let me say a little bit more about this. We're going to go ahead and select this new rollover infinity trade using just the same basic criteria I described just a second ago. It's the same basic criteria that we use to identify our original spread position. Now, once our new trade is identified, we're going to go ahead and close out that initial trade. We're going to close it out, collect our profits, and then we're going to look to open up that new call spread that we've identified and roll over our profits into that trade, which allow us the chance for these profits to have the opportunity to compound. And as long as the underlying stock and its trend strength remains, we're going to look to continue rolling over that trade opportunistically, giving it further chances to compound those gains over time, with ultimately having the goal of the infinity trades is going to be this right here. It's ultimately for you to end up rolling over a few profitable trades in a row, have some consecutive profitable rollovers, which is going to eventually give you enough rollover profits to eliminate the trade's cost basis entirely. And if you're able to do this, this is absolutely incredible, because if you're able to reduce your trade's cost basis to zero or even drop that cost basis to below zero, this is talking about the cumulative cost basis for all these trades, then your trade mathematically has zero risk. There's zero risk on the table for that trade. And the reason that we actually call these the infinity trades, you might be wondering where we got that name from, is it's just a simple math problem. If your trade has a zero or negative cost basis, and then you try to calculate the trade's return, you're going to end up trying to divide by either a zero or a negative number. So your trade's just going to end up displaying, or your trade's return is just going to end up displaying as infinity technically. So that's if you're wondering, Graham, where we pulled that name from, that's how we got it.
Love
But
it.
with that, I figured that it might be good to go ahead, Graham, and just do a quick live walkthrough now of the AutoStrike Trade Finder system. Just show folks kind of exactly what it looks like, and show them the 3 trades that are showing up right there now. The scan should be done by now. And folks, remember, you're going to be seeing those top 3 strongest call option spread setups that AutoStrike has identified today. So make sure have a notepad or your computer or something handy so you can write those down. So let me go ahead and pull up our, if you can still see my screen here, this is actually our member profile right here, or member portal, excuse me, where the AutoStrike Trade Finder tool is. And so if you navigate right over here and click Spread Finder, then it's going to send you over to the tool. And here you go. So you can see here's our top 3 picks for today. So you can see they're in no specific order. These are just the top 3 it's identified today. So you can see the first one there is for WRB. We have one for RTX, the big defense contractor, Raytheon Technologies. And then you can see, actually, it's identified a spread. This is not all that common, Graham. Usually there's not enough time value in the stocks like the utilities or the staples in order to find a deeper in the call or deeper in the money call option spread, kind of like we like to trade them. But you can see right here with volatility being elevated in the markets, has actually found an opportunity for AEP. This is a major utility, operates mostly in the East Coast and around Ohio. But anyways, you can see it actually has found apparently a call spread for AEP. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into the opportunities this tool has found. So you can see this one right here. This is going to be for WRB. This is going to be a May 16th call option debit spread here. Of course, it's going to be in the money. We can see that WRB is currently trading just over $68 per share. And the trade that it's found is looking to recommend to buy to open the May 16th 60 strike call and simultaneously sell to open the 65 strike call. And you can see right here, here's the risk reward scenarios for this trade. So you can see that if the stock were to remain flat or even increase, you stand to make a 28.2% return. And then you also have some downside protection built in as well. You can see that the stock could actually, by option expiration, decline by as much as 5% here, and you're still set to realize near your full profit potential of 24.89% right there. That would be what the return would be in that scenario. And you can see right here, even in the 7.5% decrease in stock price scenario at option expiration, the trade still wouldn't profit here, but you can see it still meets our criteria because it's less than the inverse of our profit potential for the spread. That 28.2, it's less than that inverse. So you can see, entering this trade, it's a 5-point spread. So we would look to enter this trade at no greater than 4 points. So you can see it's currently trading at 3.9 points for that spread right there. So that looks like a really strong trade opportunity is identified right there. Moving on to our next one, we can see for RTX. So here's the Raytheon Technologies trade. So this is actually a June option. This actually should be showing it might be pulling back. This should be June 20th. So ignore that date right there. But this is the June 20th Raytheon, and this is looking to buy to open the 115 strike call and sell to open the 120 strike call. And you can see over here. Here again is the risk reward setup for this trade. So you can see we're looking to pay 3.85 points. That's the current market cost for this trade. And with that, given that this is another 5-point debit spread here, based on the size of the spread, entering at that cost, that's going to give you a 29.8% profit potential on this trade. And again, you can see if Raytheon shares are up or even flat at option expiration, this trade would stand to make this 29.8% return. And then again, you can see it has some nice downside protection built into this trade as well. Seeing here in these scenarios where the stock price were to decline even as much as 5%, it still stands to make that 29.87 full profit potential right there. And then our third and final trade that it has identified for today, you can see right here. Here's the trade for AEP. So this is going to be a 7.5-point spread. Again, this is going to be for June 20th right here. And you can see this one is looking to buy to open the 92.5 June 20th call and also sell to open the June 20th 100 strike call. So you can see, again, this is, of course, an in-the-money spread. AEP is trading at about $108 per share. So, with us selling that 100 strike call, that's our higher strike price. This is, again, another nice in-the-money call option spread. And you can see with that 7.5-point spread, if we're looking to get in at this cost right here of 5.9 points, that's going to give us a very nice risk profile and reward profile for this trade, which you can see below. You can see it's going to give us a profit potential of 27.1%. And even if the AEP shares were to decline as much as 7.5% at option expiration, you can see this, the trade still stands to produce a really nice 25.6% return in that scenario. So, being able to find opportunities throughout the market like this, where the stock, you don't have to rely on the stock moving in just one singular direction. In fact, having to move a certain amount in one singular direction in order for that trade to profit. With this type of setup right here that AutoStrike is finding, you can just, as long as the stock stays in a pretty wide range, it can increase, it can stay flat, and even as you can see it, the stock price can decline by quite a lot in some cases. These trades still stand to produce a nice profit potential. So now that we have these pulled up right here, I'm actually going to go ahead and just do a quick walkthrough just to wrap things up of just how it looks, how I'd look to go ahead and place the order on one of these. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do the Raytheon trade. Just going to go ahead and just show you just briefly. 1 second. Let me get that pulled up here in my account.
Awesome. I love how it does all the math for you, so you guys can just easily see on the bottom the winning scenarios. Keep in mind, guys, a lot of these stocks, I mean, that's a Raytheon, what is that, about 8% the stock could go? 7%? So
Yeah,
a lot of
it's like
buffer into the
7.5%.
downside. Now, of course, guys, remember, if you attended the class this week, you know that Chuck has already grandfathered in the members to get up to three trades a day. You don't have to take all three. You can do what Blaine's doing here. Filter through those three, see the ones you like the best, and just take that one. And if you miss a day, no problem, because it's firing off new signals for you every single day. So even if you're catching this replay and it's Friday and the markets are closed because it's Easter weekend and you missed out, don't stress about it, because on Monday there's going to be a new batch of trades, and Tuesday there'll be a new batch. So this is something that really can work with anybody on their own schedule, their own time. So walk us through what you're doing here.
Yep, absolutely. So remember, folks, we found, the AutoStrike Trade Finder found this RTX trade for us. So, we tabbed through each of the three trades it's found, and, we decided that this is the one that we really like here for RTX. So I'm here just in my E-Trade account, just to show you just kind of the structure of what it would actually look like of placing an order for this trade. So, we go ahead and, of course, put our stock symbol in. We would be doing call spread. So you might see this, depending on your broker, it may show up as call debit spread, call spread, vertical call spread. These are all the same thing. It's the same names for all the same type of strategy, but here it's just going to be call spread. And remember, with this type of setup, we're looking to use the simultaneous entry method. So we're looking to simultaneously buy to open and sell to open related call options. So remember, with this, we're looking at the RTX June 20th options, and we're looking to buy to open one contract of the June 20th 115 strike call, and simultaneously sell to open one contract of the June 20th 2025 120 strike call. So you can see, of course, this is our in the money spread that it identified for us. Now moving down here, we can see we want to set our price type to a net debit, and just how this is set up. Of course, we want to use a net debit limit order. So that's what's shown right here. You pop this down, we're going to go net debit, since this is a debit spread, and we would set our net debit limit. And what we like to do is we like to target the midpoint for that spread. So not for the individual options, but we're looking right here for the midpoint for that spread. So you can see that's currently coming in just about 3.93 points. I think that's maybe about 3 cents different than was shown on the calculator. Of course, these option prices change all the time, but you're still having a very, very strong profit potential right here. So you can see we just set our net debit limit order at that limit price of 3.93 points for the spread. And I'm not going to go ahead and place this one just, since I'm putting it out there for all of you. But if I were, I would go ahead and just hit preview order, confirm everything looks valid, which it does, and just go ahead and submit and fire that trade off. But it's as simple as that. That's how you would go ahead and place that order. If you wanted to go ahead and take that trade, you make that choice. But that's how that process works right there, Graham. So
that's awesome. Well, guys, let's all give Blaine a round of applause and a big thank you for walking us through the Hughes optioneering method, how they've been able to program that into AutoStrike to find winning trades for us, doing all the option selection for us, all the hard work. I really, really love it. Now, guys, keep in mind, they are going to have a masterclass today with the members only, the AutoStrike members only. You're going to see some of that stuff recapped, but also some more in-depth material, some valuable trade ideas, concepts, and ways to apply AutoStrike to your training. So if you're not a member, you won't be invited to that. But for the members, that will be today, I believe 1 p.m. Eastern, right?
We are, yes. Yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern is what we're shooting for. Yep.
1 p.m. Eastern. So there'll be live trading there. You guys can join in for that if you're a member. Now, if you're not a member, I think there's currently 43 open spots left to join for today's masterclass. So what we're going to do now is pull up that class that Chuck and I went through to walk you through exactly how you can get AutoStrike up and running today. Again, only 43 spots are left, and you'll want to join before the masterclass today at 1, where there'll be live trading and education coming up for you. So guys, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Watch this short presentation, and then we'll see you at 1 o'clock. The profits and performance shown today are not typical. You may lose money. We all know this, guys. The trades expressed are based on real-time signals from AutoStrike and trades that were taken in real time. So it's not a back test, nothing like that. This is real application here. Now, obviously, no one can guarantee future results. We're not genies. What you're going to see today are some of the best examples over the last few months. Now, there were bigger winners, there were smaller winners, and of course, there were losers too. But since AutoStrike is a tool for traders and not a trading service, the profits and performance will vary among users. So trade at your own risk. You can go to the TradeWinds homepage if you want more information on that. Now, Chuck is going to be joining us here in just a moment. But first, let me just restate this, guys. There's going to be winners. There's going to be losers. The whole purpose of our research is to give you guys an edge. Our goal is to help you build that account over time. It's not going to be 100% win rate, but as you'll see today, it can have a very, very high likelihood of working out. But never go all in on any single position. You guys know this. Be smart with your investments. Now, my name is Graham Lindman, and I'm the senior options expert here at the Prosperity Pub. And before we get started, I have a quick question for you. Of the 63,192,780 options trading across all of the exchanges right now, 63 million of them, which ones give you the most attractive income opportunities? That's a pretty tough question to answer, right? I didn't even know there's 63 million out there until I did some research, pulled up, I said, holy cow, there are a lot of options to choose from. In fact, I'd argue that there hasn't been a way to answer that question since the inception of the options market. But that's until right now. Because in the next few minutes, my special guest and I will be unlocking a new trading breakthrough that we call AutoStrike. It's a next generation smart algo that automatically scans, selects, and sends you high probability options trade right to your computer or your phone. Now, what makes these automated signals so unique and so much better than most trading methods out there is that this particular income style of trade it's selecting is specifically designed to help us target extra cash in all sorts of market scenarios. I really mean that. It's great when stocks are roaring higher. It's even great when they're flat. And it even works when a stock falls as much as 10% plus in a few weeks. And boy, have we seen that happen lately. That's why this is so amazing right now. It means it doesn't really matter to us if stocks go into a full-on bear market from here or if they rally on to new highs. AutoStrike is designed to only pick options that can withstand a major market storm. And that allows us to trade with a really high accuracy rate while getting maximum bang for the buck. For example, let's go back to November and see what happened. Now, for example's sake, let's say someone had 5K invested. You don't need that much, but this is just for example. And that's how much we'll be referencing with every example unless otherwise stated. Now, in November, folks were very uncertain to say the least. We had the election season, we had Fed interest rate decisions, and global conflicts increasing. Now, naturally, the S&P 500 was falling with all of that fear in the headlines. Are you seeing in October drifting down into the month of November? And in the first week of November, the number of put buyers exploded to levels we haven't seen in years. People were scared. They were buying protection on their account. But of course, none of that really mattered because on November 8th, AutoStrike generated a brand new income signal on CART, did it all for you. Selected the exact options criteria, the entry price, and the profitability all on its own. And in the case of CART, thanks to AutoStrike's built-in option selection features, this stock could have fallen as much as 13%, and it still would have paid you. Now, funny enough, in this example, the stock actually did take a big tumble that month, like a lot of stocks did, falling just north of 10% on the shares. Now, most folks trading directionally would have been wiped out. We'll call it $5,000 in losses on the options for most people. But with AutoStrike, because it does it all automatically for you and selects these great paying options, folks could have walked away unscathed with an extra $1,154 sitting in the account. Pretty impressive, right? Then anyone could have done it again on the next signal. On November 13th, when Auto Strike generated a new income opportunity on NVIDIA, all done for you. And just like in the last example, with all of the market volatility, NVIDIA was hit pretty hard too, taking an 8.5% nosedive over the next few weeks. Now, most folks trading NVIDIA were probably looking at a big, fat, account sinking loser. No good. But with AutoStrike, it all changes because it handpicks the options for you. Anyone could have pocketed a $1,077 payday during that same time. Now, that's $1,000 in profit during one of the worst times to invest in the stock. That's obviously some really powerful stuff. Now, before you start guessing on what today's opportunity is all about, let me just assure you, AutoStrike is not some sort of short trading indicator that gets you to load up on puts, hoping for another big crash. We're not short trading here. It's not looking for expensive strangle or straddle options combinations that rely on stocks to constantly move in order to pay. That works good in sometimes, but not all market conditions. And unlike most bullish trading strategies, which have been getting decimated in the recent market drop, AutoStrike was specifically programmed to find the exact options that have the power to pay, regardless if stocks are moving higher, lower, or stuck for months, making it the bread and butter trade to take in all sorts of economic climates and political environments. Now, the core framework built into AutoStrike is based on a time-tested method that has dominated over the last 2 decades, with up to 96.2% accuracy on real money trading. Again, not back test, not coulda, woulda, shoulda. 96.2% accuracy on real trading. Now, that includes some trades during the dot-com crash, right? The 2000 dot-com crash, the 2008 financial crisis, even that 2022 nasty bear market that we all remember. That's 25 years in a row without a single down year on record. But now it's even better because starting today, AutoStrike automatically filters through all of the options available, those 63 million options, filters through all of them to handpick the best income opportunities for you. All automated, all in one place. With each automatic alert, including everything you need to trade on the go. It gives you the ticker, the exact options criteria, the entry price, and the full profitability schedule laid out for you. For example, let's take a look at what happened in December. Now, keep in mind, in December, inflation was ramping back up, and the Fed was completely changing their course on rate cuts. And that caused the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow to take one of their worst tumbles of the whole entire year. However, with AutoStrike in your pocket, none of that really mattered. On December 9th, folks could have been out for a morning bicycle ride, checked in at any point during the day to catch the newest income trade on Meta. Again, the options criteria already generated for you. The system does everything for you. And then you could have taken about 2 minutes to set the trade. That's all you needed to do. And in this case, Meta could have gone to the moon. It could have moved sideways, or it could have fallen 10% or more and still paid big. Sure enough, Meta chopped around from there, yet anyone following along could have caught a $1,635 payday, all done for you. Then a few days later, you could have done it again. December 19th, maybe you were out enjoying a round of tennis with friends, and after the match wrapped up, caught the new income opportunity, this one on AVGO, automatically populated with options criteria included. Once again, it didn't matter if AVGO soared to new highs, went nowhere fast, or fell more than 10% over the coming weeks. This time, the stock actually did take a nosedive. There you see the charts, not pretty. But again, that didn't matter one bit. Folks falling AutoStrike could have seen a $1,236 payday. And with AutoStrike, we get these types of automated opportunities over and over again. For example, like the very next one, just one day after the AVGO signal, maybe you're out for an afternoon hike with the family, and when everyone took a water break, pull up the phone, check in, place a new options trade automatically sent right to you. Now, this one was on Palantir with an insane 26% downside protection built in. That means this stock could have fallen from the sky and still paid. Now, with that much wiggle room, folks could have placed a trade with a lot less stress than normal. So you confirm the entry, and then phone is back in the pocket. Now, sure enough, for Palantir, the share price popped higher from there, and folks following along could have pocketed a needle-moving $1,250 on the PLTR position. So if you want to be one of the first in the world to have a behind-the-scenes look at this incredible trading breakthrough, plus access to today's newest income opportunity, all generated for you, then stay tuned. Because by the end of this broadcast, a handful of folks will be able to jump in on the next income opportunity that AutoStrike has already flagged for you to take today. And it will allow you to target what could be the next great payday. So welcome to the world premiere of the AutoStrike Options Summit. Now, like I mentioned a moment ago, my name is Graham Lindman, and you might recognize me from my flagship strategy, the Perfect Apple Trade, which has reached over 100,000 people worldwide. Or maybe you've heard of my famous wrap orders, which has helped folks see doubles in their trading. Now, as much as I'd love to take all of the credit and tell you that I'm a self-made six-figure trader who figured it out all on my own, well, that would simply not be the truth. We all have mentors and coaches along the way. And my trading career really took off about half a decade ago, meeting one-on-one with one of the greatest traders of our lifetime. His name is Chuck Hughes. Now, Chuck got started in the markets back in the 1980s with just $4,600, very small amount. And in his first year of trading, the profits totaled over $69,000. And as his account grew, so did his profits, earning a whopping $391,000 in year two. And since then, Chuck's accomplished quite a lot. Some of the major feats include winning not one, not two, but 10 trading championships with some insane returns there. Audited returns as high as 220%, 300%, and even 330%. Running his live signal services for 25 years straight without a single down year, including 7 major market corrections and crashes. He's made it through them all. But not just that, he's also personally locked in north of $3.4 million in trading profits over recent years. And that's a feat that very few traders have been able to accomplish. And he's used his 40-plus years of trading experience to show countless students around the globe how to reach their trading goals. Ann here from New Jersey said, I started with $16,000, and now my account has grown to more than $62,000. Nice brokerage shot there. Rod W., retired pharmacist, says, I can now spend my time on other things I enjoy. He's up 300 to 400% in just 3 to 6 months with a nice 6-figure profit there for Rod. Or how about Dr. Ted from Indiana? He started with $100K, and in 7 months, with no extra deposits, it was more than double. It went from $100K to $200K, and then it hit $260,000. Great work there, Dr. Ted. Now, those are some of the best stories we've heard from folks following Chuck's work in the past. But today, Chuck is raising the bar. He's doing something he never thought he'd do, something he didn't think could even be possible. Today, he's cutting the ribbon on a brand new smart algo that can automatically select high-paying options and send them right to you over and over again. So, Chuck, it's great to have you on today, and I'm excited to see what you have for us. Why don't you go ahead and take it away from here? Everyone give Chuck a warm, warm welcome.
Hey, Graham, can you hear me okay?
Yep, hear you great.
Okay, great to be here today, folks. And Graham, thank you for that kind introduction. I'm really excited to demonstrate to folks the power of this AutoStrike program today. It's an all-new, next-generation smart algo, unlike anything I've ever seen before in my 40 years of trading. That's because each and every day, it automatically scans, selects, and sends high conviction options trades right to you multiple times per week. Now, today, I'm looking for 199 diligent traders to team up with me in trading this all new breakthrough starting today. Now, of course, I want to be the first to remind folks that, like any strategy, there's bound to be winners and losers along the way. That's just the trading game. So never invest more than you can afford to lose, no matter how exciting the setup may look. Now, with that said, what you're about to see today is not some sort of back-tested or theoretical would have, could have, or should have. Every example I'll share with you today is based on real signals that AutoStrike generated in real time, based on the method that I've been personally using over the last few decades to trade with an incredible 96.2% accuracy on real money trades. So when I say this is a good thing, I really mean it. Now, with all of the uncertainty in the air, the timing for this broadcast could not be better. Over the last few weeks, we've seen traders' accounts get totally wiped out with the global trade war underway. as the stock market took the 5th fastest nosedive on record. But if you think that's bad, get this. Even with the big market drop that we've just had, stocks are still more overvalued than they have ever been. The last time we saw stocks priced at these levels was the 2000s dot-com bubble. Now, here's what came next, a multi-year bear market and a 0% return over the next 8 years. Now, the time before that, the 1970s stagflation, again, that's very similar to today's economy with the high inflation and slow growth. And let's take a look at what happened back in the 70s. 3 major market drops and a 0% return over the next 12 years. Now, I'm old enough to say I lived through that. So I'm not a doomsday guy. I'm not telling you to sell all of your stock. But here's what I do know. Nobody wants to see this happen to their portfolio over the next decade. And nobody can afford to have their account stuck in the mud for the next decade while inflation eats away at the balance. Because even if your account isn't going down, the withdrawals and increasing cost of living can totally destroy retirement dreams. That's why it's so important that you have AutoStrike running for you right now. Because not only can AutoStrike help protect your account against quick drops like we've all experienced lately, but it can also help kick open the door to new income opportunities all on its own. Isolating high probability options that you and I would have to spend hours and hours to find, and then it's sending them right to you with the power to pay out $500, $1,000, sometimes even $1,500 with a few clicks. For example, let's take a look at what happened with CrowdStrike back in October. Now, if you weren't in love with CrowdStrike stock at the time, I wouldn't have blamed you. The company was still dealing with the fallout of one of the worst online outages in the history of the world. And the stock was trading more than 25% below its highs. Definitely not a stock that most people would have been looking to trade. However, on October 16th, none of that mattered. If you had AutoStrike working for you, automatically scanning the options market on your behalf, you would have seen the CrowdStrike entry signal automatically generated with options criteria and entry price already selected on a silver platter. No extra legwork on your end. Just copy and paste the signal if you like it. And sure enough, anyone who did just that would have seen a big smile with AutoStrike paying $1,337.
Chuck, that's a great result. But folks, we're not done just yet, because on that same exact day, AutoStrike would have actually dealt you another high conviction trade alert as well. This one on Caterpillar, the construction company. Now, of course, AutoStrike would have done the heavy lifting for you, so you didn't need to do any technical analysis, no digging through the fundamentals. There was no need to look at the options chain, nor did you have to pull up the chart at all if you didn't want to. Everything you needed to know to take this income trade would have been automatically dialed up for you by the smart algo, with the high accuracy options opportunities pre-selected for you. So you could have been out on the water, which I know Chuck loves to do, maybe headed to lunch or about to catch an afternoon show. My point is, you could have been anywhere in the world. Just confirm the trade from your phone, and that's it. Now, in the case of Caterpillar, when it all worked out, folks could have cashed in big. Another $1,314 deposited into the account. Thank you, AutoStrike, for picking that one. Now, between those two trades that hit on the same day, that could have been an extra $2,651 sitting in folks' accounts. Now, that's an extra $2,000 that could have gone towards the groceries, the mortgage, or the credit card balance without having to make any extra withdrawals from your long-term portfolio. But as great as that is, it gets even better, because that was only 2 of the 13 winning signals in the month of October. You see them there. And just look at some of these paydays. $1,353 on Netflix, $1,187 on Home Depot, and $1,546 on Service Now, and obviously tons more in between. In fact, when you account for all of the October trades, just $2,500 into each would have paid $8,573 in auto strike income. Someone twice as confident, starting with maybe twice as much, could have seen five figures, $17,147 in auto strike income just for that 1 month of October. Now, that could have been enough to cover the groceries and the mortgage and still have enough left over to splurge on tickets to your favorite football team playing for it all. And Chuck, I know you had quite the experience there. So Chuck, why don't you walk through, folks, exactly how Auto Strike works and how anyone can get it running for them today?
Well, Graham, I'd be happy to. Now, as a reminder, folks, not all trades work out. There's winners and losers along the way. That said, we've been able to take these consistent income opportunities with a very high accuracy rate, thanks to a little known phenomenon buried inside the options market. Now, when I say options, most people assume that I'm talking about buying options in hopes that a stock rallies from there. That's how most people trade options. But there's actually a big problem with trading options that way. You see, when Wall Street lists these options and sells them to folks like you and me, they bake in another factor that makes it nearly impossible to consistently win with options. Now, it's called time decay. The way time decay works is the longer you hold one of those options, the more premium your position is losing. So you can be totally right about the direction of a stock, but still lose money on the options, all because of time decay working against you. And even worse, if the stock goes lower or even stays flat, you lose everything. Now, if you're not familiar with options, don't worry. You don't need to understand all this to take advantage of Auto Strike. But I do want to walk you through it because I want you to have that light bulb moment, just like I did years ago. You see, when Wall Street lists options and sells them to you, they want those options to expire worthless. As a matter of fact, one study by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange reported that 76% of options expire worthless. And in another report, a contributing writer at the Financial Post studied options extensively. And he found that up to 90% of all options buyers actually lose money on their trades at expiration, even if they're right about the underlying move. Not very good odds there. And Wall Street intentionally designed it this way because when you lose, of course, they win. So they set you up for failure by jacking up the options prices with aggressive time decay baked into the option. That way, your wins are few and far between, letting Wall Street keep most of the profit. The point here is most investors losing money on options aren't losing because they're always getting the direction wrong, but because the options themselves are rigged with this time value. However, as I'll show you, thanks to a little known phenomenon buried deep in the options market, Auto Strike is able to eliminate almost all of the time decay on our trades, allowing us to get paid when the stock moves higher, lower, or stays stuck for weeks on end. And the best part, since it selects the options on its own, it will even tell us ahead of time just how low a stock could go and still pay us. Meaning we always know our odds before we ever place the trade. For example, let's take a look at what happened in January. Going into the new year, things were not looking pretty as the market momentum was starting to slow down. Meanwhile, hedge funds were dumping shares at the fastest pace in recent history. However, on January 21st, folks would have been pinged with the new income opportunity automatically generated by Auto Strike. And as always, Auto Strike would have already generated the ticker, the entry price, the exact auctions criteria and just how far that stock could drop and still pay you a great return. Now, in this case, it was a 13.4% buffer. Now, you could have listened to the noise from the news and all the headlines, which are overwhelming nowadays, and you would have missed out completely as your money earned you nothing. Or folks could have taken a quick minute to set the trade on NET and then walked away. Over the next few weeks, the stock sputtered around, going nowhere fast. Now, most folks trading options would have probably coughed up at least a 50% loss due to that time decay. But thanks to AutoStrike automatically selecting options where the time decay is almost completely eliminated, you could have pocketed $1,202 during the same time.
Chuck, I'm pretty sure everyone here would love to have booked an extra $1,202 in income that week, especially with how bad inflation has been over the last few years. We've seen these headlines. It's forced retirees to head back to work. Many people have been forced to pick up second jobs, while the savings accounts have been dropping to record lows. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I would personally much rather click a few buttons here than sit at a desk for an extra 20 hours a week, especially when AutoStrike is doing all the heavy lifting to find these options for me. I don't have to do anything on my own. Ones that can still pay even when a stock goes nowhere, like you showed here with the net example. So Chuck, you have to give us more information. You mentioned that AutoStrike is selecting these options in a way that practically eliminates all the time decay that typically eats up accounts. So I'm sure some folks are wondering, is this maybe some form of a credit spread? Maybe you're selling naked puts here to capture premium?
No, we're not selling credit spreads or naked puts here or anything like that. Those can be great strategies to use for high win rates, but in my experience, you hold a lot of risk for a very little return. Now, one loser can wipe out your whole account, and that just doesn't sit well with me. Instead, I like it when high probability trades and great returns cross paths like they do here. Now, the key to these lucrative income trades is all thanks to a phenomenon hiding in the options market, specifically with deep in the money options. These are the options where the strike price is way below the current price of the stock. The options that are already very profitable. Now, most folks have no clue, but because these options are so far in the money, the time decay premiums are nearly completely eliminated, meaning we don't need to bank on a stock to make a big move or move in a short period of time to start making money. And we don't have to worry about Wall Street jacking up the price of the option well over its fair market value. That's why legendary hedge fund managers like Bill Ackman and Carl Icahn regularly use these types of options to grow their portfolios. Even Nancy Pelosi loves these deep in the money options because the winning percentage is so much better than trading the normal at the money call options. But the unfortunate truth is most folks will never touch these types of options because oftentimes they are very expensive. Not everyone feels comfortable shelling out $3,000, $4,000, sometimes even $10,000 for a single trade contract. And that's what keeps most people away from these highly profitable options. But luckily, with AutoStrike, you don't need to fork over $5,000 plus to take these trades. Thanks to a new way to twist these options into a more income-based approach, we're able to take these high probability trades with right around $500 to $750 per contract. And if that's not good enough for you, get this. Because of the way AutoStrike automatically selects the options, I believe we're actually able to get a much higher win rate than even Ackman or Icahn can with their style of trading. In fact, when AutoStrike filters through the millions of options available and then picks one to send to us, it sets up the trade in a very specific way that will pay us as long as the stock stays above our strike price. We don't have to worry about time decay. We don't have to worry about a stock drifting sideways. And we can repeatedly target $500, $1,000, sometimes even more, even if a stock tumbles hard. Now, for example, let's take a look at the very next trade that AutoStrike Smart Algo would have sent you. This one was on January 29th with Fortinet. As always, AutoStrike would have sent you the ticker, the exact options criteria, the entry price, in this example, $388 per contract, and the break-even price, or in other words, how far a stock could fall and still pay us a handsome profit. In this case, Fortinet could have fallen as much as 15.5% over the course of the trade, and it still would have paid us. Now, to show you visually just how good that is, let's pull up a chart of that stock just so you can see how large that buffer room is for yourself. Fortinet could have gone to the moon, it could have chopped around sideways, and it could have fallen as much as 15% and still pay us north of $1,000 on that position. In this example, Fortinet actually did end up trading lower from here, but it never came close to the break-even price. And anyone following along could have captured another nice payout, and this time it was $1,443 in extra income.
Chuck, that's really amazing. And folks, it was the same story with the Howmet Aerospace trade on February 11th of this year. Again, AutoStrike would have automatically sent you the ticker. It would have generated the specific options criteria for you, the entry price to pay, and the break-even price, letting you know that HWM could have fallen as much as 11.7% and still paid. Again, let's show you how good those odds are by taking a look at the chart. HWM, it could have gone up, down, or flat, but as long as it didn't crash 11% or more, you were golden. And in this case, HWM never got anywhere near that price. And anyone who clicked a few buttons to set their trade when AutoStrike automatically generated this new income position for you could have bagged another winner, $1,225 in this case. And keep in mind that you didn't have to manually go out and source this trade for yourself. Each alert includes everything you should need to trade on the go. So no more headaches staring at confusing chart patterns, no more forcing low probability trades. AutoStrike does all the heavy lifting for you without ever breaking a sweat.
That's exactly right, Graham. And my team and I intentionally designed it that way. I never wanted to take a trade in a way that has me strapped to the desk all day long. That just doesn't fit with my lifestyle. I'd much rather spend my time with the family, hiking the beautiful mountains in California and the volcanoes in Hawaii, or checking some items off the bucket list. Now, of course, you can't just blindly pick any option to make this happen. If it was that easy, everyone would already be doing it by now. Actually, finding these types of opportunities, it's a bit of a grueling process. For starters, there's thousands of stocks out there to filter through to find a viable setup. And then on top of that, there's literally millions of options to click through. I think earlier, Graham, you mentioned 63 million. So you have to find the appropriate liquidity, premiums, and profitability to get that risk to reward that we're looking for here. Finding these trades can oftentimes feel like finding a needle in a haystack. One small mistake on the option selection and the whole opportunity is completely blown. And I've seen really smart people struggle over and over again just from making one teeny tiny mistake in their option selection. That's why I automated the whole thing, taking all of the guesswork out of it. I work relentlessly with the programmers to get the trading engine built into AutoStrike running just right, based on the same rules that I've used for decades now. But now it's able to do even more than I ever thought possible, automatically scouring through the endless options available to isolate the best income opportunities with the highest odds of working out. And that's something that no human can really do by hand. Once it runs through all the options available, it then does a stress test on them to make sure that they can withstand a major market drop. AutoStrike will validate the signal automatically on its own, so there's no guessing on what you need to do. And when we get all the green lights, AutoStrike will send it right to you. That way, every time you check in and see the newest entry alert, you know it's a high conviction income signal that's already been sourced and vetted by AutoStrike. Then, if you like, you can simply copy and paste the options to take the trade, and your job is done. For example, like the trade on IBM, December 11th, AutoStrike flagged the new income opportunity on IBM. It would have sourced the ticker, the entry price, and the options criteria, but not just that. It also ran a stress test on the strike prices to verify the position could withstand a major market drop, where we know for a fact that we will win even if the stock goes soaring to new highs, gets stuck chopping sideways, or even takes a tumble, as long as it stays above the strike price. Multiple winning scenarios across the board. You got to love that. So folks could have taken a moment to copy the options and set up the income trade on IBM, then fired it off. And when it all worked out, $1,691 profit in IBM.
Chuck, this smart algo is next level stuff. Not only does it do all of the heavy lifting for you, searching through the countless options out there to find a needle in a haystack, but then it also verifies the resiliency of the trade before it ever sends it to you. And here's what's really cool. If it's not a winning scenario across the board, AutoStrike automatically tosses the trade out of the window. That removes the low probability trades and even the medium probability trades automatically for us. And it only generates the trades that the calculation finds to have the best chances of success, ones that show winning scenarios in every situation tested. For example, like with CBRE in November. As always, the stock and options criteria generated for you and laid out in an easy to follow alert. The entry price done for you as well. In this case, $385 per contract, and the break-even price giving us at least a 10% plus of buffer room. And the options already stress tested to work on multiple different stock scenarios, up, down, or flat, winning outcomes across the board like you mentioned. Now, had you taken just a few minutes to set the trade when AutoStrike sent you the income signal, you could have come back to $1,493 from this payday.
And Graham, we get these opportunities over and over again, like with Netflix back in August. All of the entry criteria automatically generated and sent to you by AutoStrike. Profitability schedule fully stress test and verified for a high likelihood of working out. It's a win-win-win, as I like to say. And anyone who followed along could have hit another great winner even as Netflix was stalled out. And I can show you hundreds of examples just like this, because with AutoStrike, the opportunity is virtually endless.
Well, Chuck, I have to say, this is exactly what folks need right now. Whether you believe that the markets are heading lower from here or back to all-time highs, it really doesn't matter. That's because AutoStrike has been able to take some of the worst market drops and turn them into a treasure trove of income opportunities. For example, like in July and August, I think a lot of people here remembered this, the S&P 500 was dropping into correction territory, falling more than 10%. Now, during that time, folks could have bagged not one, not two, but 10 winners with AutoStrike, including $1,266 on PanW, $1,337 on Spotify, and even $1,573 on American Express. All in all, that could have totaled up to an incredible $13,315 in extra income over that terrible time in the markets. Now, again, not all trades work out this well, but we want to demonstrate what is possible with AutoStrike. So how about the most recent crash? I saw we had some questions in the chat. How'd it work over this recent crash? Well, we've had the tariff news, global threats, slowing economy, and stocks crashing, actually crashing 20% from the highs. Now, most folks saw their accounts plummet, and a lot of folks fearing that even the regular withdrawals from the retirement account could completely dismantle their future. But with AutoStrike working for you, handpicking the options with the highest likelihood of working out, you could have pocketed some extra income to get through these tough times. Just like in the 9 trades that would have paid out in March alone. That's an extra $9,166 in income over that stretch. Not bad while the markets were falling from the sky. Now, even if you only took half of the trade, you still would have been very well off, about $4,500 for the month. And of course, this obviously works great too when markets are going up. Now, Chuck, I can't wait to get AutoStrike in the hands of the folks tuning into this broadcast right now.
Graham, me either. And I think AutoStrike is about to go on a massive run, unlike anything we've seen in years. With a big portion of this crazy market downside already baked in, I think there's more upside than downside potential over the next year. I wouldn't be shocked if AutoStrike won the next 10 trades in a row. Heck, while we can't promise any future outcomes nor protect against losses, I wouldn't be shocked if AutoStrike won the next 20 in a row. But luckily, it doesn't matter to me if stocks go soaring higher from here. That's because AutoStrike allows us to trade with a very high level of confidence, knowing that these picks are designed to pay even if stocks continue to dive lower. And today, I'd like to invite folks out there to join me in unlocking this powerful, smart algo for themselves. In fact, I'm looking for 199 diligent traders to team up with me in this all-new breakthrough today. Now, it doesn't matter if you're retired, still working a 9-to-5 job, if you're in college, or maybe if you're a full-time mom. As long as you have an internet connection, a brokerage account, and a few minutes each week, you can set up AutoStrike to automatically send you high win rate opportunities targeting $500, $1,000, and sometimes even more every day right from the palm of your hand. Today, I'd like to invite you to take one of these 199 spots and access the all-new AutoStrike. Now, for those of you who are ready to take the limited spots allowed at today's deal, let me quickly walk you through everything you can expect as a member. And then we'll post the link to join. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if spots fill up in the first 10 minutes, so be ready, folks. Now, each and every day, AutoStrike will be constantly running and searching through the options markets for you. No code or download necessary. When it finds a new income opportunity with the verified profitability schedule, it will automatically post the specific entry criteria in the online portal. Each automatic alert includes everything you need to trade on the go, with the ticker, the exact options criteria, the entry price, and full profit potential laid out for you. This smart algo is next level, sourcing through literally millions of options, doing something that no human could possibly do by hand, and then delivering you the trade on a silver platter. Now, the algo typically posts the newest entry for the day in the morning, and that entry is valid for the whole day. So as long as you can check in before the markets close, you are good to go. Now, my goal is to get 199 new traders up and running with AutoStrike at an extremely discounted price today. Hopefully get a few dozen winning trades under your belt in the next few weeks, and some powerful testimonies as well. That way, when we do bring it back to the public at a much higher price, we'll have endless stories to share of the members' success.
Chuck, I can't wait to hear from the members once they get their hands on AutoStrike today. I mean, we've already heard so many good stories from your top students in the past across your various programs. Like Jerry here from California said, using what I learned from Chuck, my investments made $136,000. It's 11 weeks there and annualizing to over 200% per year on his active investment accounts. And my trades are continuing to succeed even in this crazy market. How about Deb from Florida? Above is a screenshot of this year's gains. It's a game changer. Just saying. There you see here, E-Trade account up $100,000 on the year. And then there's James and Patricia, maybe one of the best stories I've ever seen. He said, we've never been as successful as we have been following Chuck and his family. After starting with about $5,900, we saw $212,000 in profits.
Well, Graham, I want to see 199 more stories just like those starting today. And if you take one of the limited membership spots available today, I want to show you how to get there even faster. Now, of course, for the 199 new members today, I'm going to immediately grant you access to the Getting Started guide my team and I just finished and posted in the members portal. This will walk you through everything you need to know to get going with auto strike options today. And if you need any assistance, our US-based customer support team is standing by to answer any related questions you might have. In my opinion, following along with these automated signals is no tougher than riding a bike or shooting a layup. I could even teach my granddaughter to do it, and she could get the hang of it really quick. But if you want to see the success that we've seen so far from these signals, you have to use options. Now, I know that not everyone here has used options before, and that's okay. I'm also going to include a step-by-step walkthrough on how to use options, plus how to upgrade your brokerage to make it even easier to tap into these income opportunities. Now, again, even if you're new to options, I bet after one or two trades, you can totally get the hang of it. After that, it's smooth sailing from there. Now, there's one final upgrade I want to include for today's new members, and it takes the value to a whole new level. Listen, my team and I work endlessly to get AutoStrike up and running on its own, selecting stocks and options automatically with a very high likelihood of paying out. And now that it's all polished up and running like a well-oiled machine, I've made one final tweak to it.
And folks, this is big. This is really big.
I've just finished another upgrade to AutoStrike. So now it will send you a new income signal every single day. That means each day of the week, you can check in and grab the hottest new signal right away, all vetted and verified by the system. For example, like on January 14th, 2025, with the new income trade on ISRG, you could have come back to an extra $1,208 sitting in your account. Then the next day, January 15th, on ticker CLS. This time, it could have been a healthy $1,363 added to your account. And like I said, we now get these types of automated opportunities over and over again every single day. For example, like the next day, January 16th, 2025, a $1,226 opportunity on Meta. Now, of course, you don't need to take every trade if you don't want to. That said, I wanted to make sure that you always have an ample amount of income opportunities coming your way. That way, you don't have to worry if you miss a trade or take a week off for vacation. You'll always have a constant stream of income opportunities coming your way.
Chuck, this is really, really remarkable. First off, on those three back-to-back examples, that would have been $3,798 in income that folks could have generated after only 3 days of trades. And now you're saying that you're automatically upgrading the folks who joined today to get a new signal every single day. Now, in my opinion, that takes the value up 5x. Now, I have to admit, I've seen tools that can pick up on good stocks to buy and sell and give folks entries on that, right? But I've never seen a tool that's so powerful that it can actually pick the options for you, let alone at this incredibly high hit rate. So I have to imagine access to AutoStrike will probably cost a pretty penny. I'm thinking maybe $15,000 or at least $10,000 for a tool this powerful.
Well, Graham, I firmly believe we could probably charge double that amount and have no problem getting new members on board. But my goal here isn't to charge the new members as much as possible. It's to give them as many winning opportunities as possible. So for the first 199 folks in the door today, it's not going to be $10,000 to join. Now, bonus number one is half off for new members. I'm going to drop the price of your first year from $9,997 all the way down to $4,997, making it much more affordable to target these repeatable income opportunities. And then I'm going to cut the price again. Bonus number two, the final discount for the first 199 new members in the door who take action today, I'm going to cut the already discounted price from $4,997 per year all the way down to $1,895 for instant access. And today, if you're one of those 199 folks who take action, you'll get the savings plus access to the new alerts right away. After those 199 spots fill up, this deal will no longer be available. My publisher will either increase the price or take it off the internet altogether. You do not want to miss out on this, folks, on this brand new trading breakthrough, automatically generating high conviction income trades every single day.
Folks, Chuck is right. With an offering this good and a brand new smart algo this powerful, plus the virtually endless amounts of opportunity and the thousands of dollars in savings today, these 199 spots, they're going to fly off the shelves. In fact, we had some go off the shelves while we were giving this presentation, so we're now under that number. If you're the 200th person trying to join, you're going to be too late. So don't delay, because access to AutoStrike will be first come, first serve. If you're ready to take the next step and unlock a full year of access for pennies on the dollars, then here comes that link in the chat. Raleigh just posted it. You can click that link in the chat right now or go to tradewinds.com/199. Be one of those first 199 members in the door today. And if you want to, you can call the team at 828-318-8810. Again, guys, only 199 founding members allowed at today's special price. And remember, Chuck included that automatic upgrade where you now get new trades every single day. So don't worry about taking every single one, but you don't have to sweat if you miss one or if you're on vacation for a week. A constant stream of income opportunities will be coming your way with AutoStrike. Again, lock in that discount right now by clicking that link in the chat or going to tradewinds.com/199. And we have tons of people in here today. I want to be shocked if by the time we get to the Q&A here at the end and open up the questions in the chat if spots are already gone. Now, all of the details of your new AutoStrike membership are on the next page. When you join as one of the first 199 founding members, you will automatically save half off the retail price, plus an extra $3,000 plus in one-time savings. This is a special for the ribbon-cutting event. Do not miss this rock-bottom price to unlock the all-new AutoStrike Smart Algo today. I'd hate for you to have to pay more when those 199 founding member spots are gone. So click that link in the chat or give us a call to secure your founding membership discount right now. Again, if you guys join today, we still have time. You can go and enter today's new pick if you'd like to. They're posted every single day. You just check in and you get the pick with the options criteria already included.
Now, Graham, before we open up the chat and answer some questions, I have an important announcement to make. For a very limited time, I'm offering a special bonus for the most dedicated students. Once you click the link in the chat, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's a special 2-year deal where you can get an extra year of AutoStrike for only $300 extra, meaning you can instantly save 85% on your second year of access by claiming that additional discount today. However, this is a very limited time offer and it will not be available for long.
Guys, click that link in the chat, tradewinds.com/199, or give us a call, 828-318-8810 to get started. Now, I'm just going to ask you guys in the chat, when you're signed up, give me a yes in the chat so we get an idea of how many of these spots are already off the board, and I know that they're going to go quick. Again, we had some go off the board while we were in the middle of the presentation. We didn't even get to this point yet, so spots are flying off the shelves. We got a yes. We got a yes, yes, yes. Lots of yeses across the board today. Let's go.
So I love picturing what AutoStrike can do for you over the next year, and I can't wait to get it into your hands. Look, I've been actively trading for over 4 decades now. I've traded through crashes, bubbles, booms, and everything in between. I've won the trophies, I hit millions in profits, gave tons away, and I even published my own book. But just like anyone at this time in their career, at some point, I'll be ready to retire and move on from the public eye. I've got more life to live, kids and grandkids to spend time with, more countries to explore, and expeditions ahead of me. My point is, I won't be doing this forever. And that's why I called my team for an all-hands-on-deck project to create AutoStrike. Not only did I want to automate my best performing trading strategy, making my life much easier than ever before, and the trades even more effective, but I also wanted to build a legacy for my family and a legacy for yours too. I wanted to build the most powerful trading tool that this world has ever seen. Something that my kids could use to target extra income from the stock market for years and years to come without the pain of trial and error. And something they could pass on to their kids too. And what would be better to pass on than a fully automated trading engine that scans, selects, and sends high conviction options trades right to your computer or phone each and every day. That's why today I want to offer you the same chance to build a legacy for your loved ones too. Graham, why don't we walk them through this final must-have bonus?
Chuck, I would be love to. And guys, this is really, really important. Folks, once you take one of the 199 spots available today and click that button to submit to your membership, do not exit that next page. Don't refresh. Don't hit the back button. That's because on that next page, you're going to get a very special invite to upgrade your subscription to Legacy Lifetime Access. And there's a few implications with this. First off, you're going to save thousands of dollars on fees. You see, at the current annual cost, after only 5 years of using AutoStrike, you'll be close to $10,000 in membership fees. However, when you upgrade to Legacy Lifetime status today, it's not going to run you anything near that. In fact, it won't even be half of that cost. Now, please note that with this one-time charge today, you'll never have to pay a renewal fee again, no maintenance charges, no hidden fees. Just a one-time payment, and you can gain unfiltered access to AutoStrike for years and years to come. But that's only just the beginning, because as a Legacy Lifetime member, you will also get upgraded access to share your login information with up to 5 family members or friends, and they too can enjoy the lifetime access of AutoStrike. Remember, Chuck built AutoStrike to build a legacy for his kids and his grandkids too. Now, this is your opportunity to do the same thing and build a legacy for your loved ones. So today, you can lock them in for a lifetime access for them so that they can learn AutoStrike to find new income opportunities for them in the future. Now, in my opinion, this is a must-have upgrade for anyone who would love to help their kids or other family members help level up in the stock market and hopefully in their financial future as well. However, this is really important. We can only guarantee 50 Legacy Lifetime spots today. Once we hit that number, it's up to the publisher on what to do next with the lifetime price. So the question is, are you ready to leave a lifetime legacy? Will you be one of the first in the door today to upgrade to lifetime legacy access? Well, you have to start by claiming your founding membership first, and then you can upgrade from there on the next page. Guys, click that link in the chat to get started, or go to tradewinds.com/199. Or if you'd like to speak with the person, I saw we had some chats in here. So people may be having trouble with the buying link. We may have so many people already ordering that we're getting close to that limit. If you're having trouble with your order, give us a call, 828-318-8810. They'll get you taken care of. And remember, you'll want to join right now because that newest trade is in the members portal for you, already automatically generated by AutoStrike. Now, remember the opportunity today. AutoStrike is the only trading tool that I know of that's able to automatically pick options designed to pay regardless if stocks go higher, they go flat, or lower. And it does it without you needing to lift a finger. If it's not a winning scenario across the board, AutoStrike automatically tosses out the window. That removes the low probability and even the medium probability trades for you. We only want the ones with the best chances of success. The ones that show winning scenarios in every situation tested, the win-win-wins across the board. For example, like with CBRE in November, AutoStrike selected the stock and the options criteria generated for you in an easy-to-follow alert. In this case, it was $385 per contract and a break-even price, giving us 10% plus of buffer room. And the options were already stress tested to work on multiple different stock scenarios, whether it went up, down, or flat, winning outcomes across the board. Now, had you taken a few minutes to set the trade when AutoStrike sent you the income signal, you could have come back to $1,493 from that income position. Or like with Netflix in August, that was a terrible time to be invested in stocks, but AutoStrike is already filtering the best income opportunities for you. So it sent the trade alert details. It sent the profitability schedule, fully stress tested and verified for a high likelihood of working out. It's a win-win-win, as we like to say. And anyone who followed along could have hit another great winner, even as Netflix was stalled out from there. So don't miss on today's new income alerts, guys. Click that link in the chat to get started. And again, don't forget, you're getting upgraded to a new entry alert every day. And once you take your membership, if you're one of the first 199 in the door today on that next page, you can upgrade to Legacy Lifetime Access. That's a small group of people who are going to be able to get the lifetime access for a one-time payment plus multi-access login criteria.
Now, Graham, I firmly believe that this is exactly what everyone needs right now. Whether you believe the markets are heading lower from here or back to all-time highs, all of that really doesn't matter. That's because AutoStrike has been able to take some of the worst market drops and turn them into a treasure trove of income opportunities. For example, back in July and August, when the S&P was heading into correction territory, it was dropping 10%, folks could have bagged not one, not two, but 10 winners with AutoStrike, including $1,371 on Carvana, $1,258 on Costco, and $1,201 on XBI. And all in all, that could have totaled up to an incredible $13,315 in extra income, all while the market was dropping. Or how about the most recent crash, tariff news, global threats, slowing economy, and stocks crashing actually more than 20% at one point? Most folks saw their accounts plummet. A lot of folks fearing that even irregular withdrawals from their retirement account could completely dismantle their future. But with AutoStrike working for you, handpicking the options with the highest likelihood of working out, you could have pocketed some extra income to get you through these tough times. Just look at the 9 trades that would have paid out in March alone. That's an extra $9,166 in income over that stretch. Now, even if you only took half of those trades, you would still be very well off. And of course, it obviously works great too when markets are going up. AutoStrike is the pinnacle of my 40-year trading career, all automated, all in one place. And if there's only one trading tool or program you have, I highly suggest you make it this one.
Guys, click that link to get started today with AutoStrike. And I've already seen in the chat, tons and tons of people have already taken these spots. I'm sure they're filling up quickly. Just to clarify, guys, you don't have to go type in a ticker. You don't have to go find your own stock a trade here, AutoStrike automatically filters through all the stocks out there, all the options out there, and finds a needle in a haystack type of opportunity, one that most people will overlook and never see. But it finds it and it dials it all up for you. It stress tests the options to prove that it works in all sorts of market climates, and then you can just take the trade if you like. So click that link in the chat to get started. And some of you guys are saying you're having issues with your orders. Give us a call, guys. 828-318-8810. I have to imagine we're getting so many hits on the membership checkout page that the page may be running a bit slow. So if that's you, give us a call and we will honor your spot. Now, Chuck, really quick before we open the chat, and we're going to answer your guys' questions here in the chat, so don't go anywhere. Let me answer a few common questions or ask you some. Chuck, do I need to install something to use AutoStrike?
No, there's no code or downloads or install needed. Once you take one of the limited memberships today, you will be sent a secure username and password to the new members portal where you can easily access today's new entry right from your computer, tablet, or cell phone anywhere in the world. So there is no download. You just need to log on to the website to get the trades.
That's awesome. So you guys can access it from anywhere in the world. Now, if I'm a beginner, is AutoStrike a good fit for me?
Absolutely. AutoStrike gives you a big edge with clear and structured entry alerts with everything you should need to know to set up trades. If I were to start my trading career over from scratch today, joining AutoStrike is the first thing that I would do.
I would too, because it just does everything for you and you can really get started even if you're just brand new. Now, does AutoStrike give me both the stock ticker and the exact options criteria for placing a trade, or do I have to go find the options myself?
Yes, this smart algo is the first of its kind where it's able to source the exact options to own for optimal results. There's no extra legwork on your end, and it gives you the profit amount if you want to set an exit target early, and I'll cover this in the
perfect. So it'll tell you the
trainings.
profitability before time. If you want to hold it for that full profit, you can. If you guys want to exit early for a partial profit along the way, Chuck's going to teach you exactly how to do that. Now, how much does the average trade cost?
Well, on average, the usual entry cost is about $5 or $500 per contract, or in other words, $500 per trade. Now, with all that said, it could range with some as low as $300 and others that are $700 plus. Now, the good news is that there is no shortage of entries. So if you don't like one or two and you think it's too expensive, you can just totally pass on the trade.
That's perfect. And remember, guys, it's giving you a new one every single day. So it's not like you have to take everyone. If you're starting out with a smaller account, which is totally perfect for this, you can just take the cheaper entries. Now, do I need a huge account to trade this?
No, this isn't day trading. So you don't have to worry about that $25,000 rule. And unlike deep in the money options that could run you as much as $5,000 to $10,000 per position, these trades are only about 1/10 of that cost. So you don't need a big account.
Awesome. Now, what if I have questions about how to get started with AutoStrike?
Well, I'm going to immediately grant you access to the Getting Started guide my team and I just finished and posted in the members portal. This will walk you through everything you need to know to get going with the AutoStrike options today.
That's awesome. And you are going to have master classes too, right, Chuck?
Yes, absolutely. This Thursday, we're going to have a master class for our new members.
Awesome. So you guys can join Chuck live, ask him any question you have. Now, of course, that's for the members only. It's not going to be for everyone. It's going to be for the first 199 members here.
And if you need any assistance, our US-based customer support team is standing by to answer any questions you might have. If for some reason you don't love AutoStrike, you'll have 7 days to call our team, and in the rare chance we cannot help you out, we'll refund you every penny of your membership cost, and it's just that easy.
Perfect. So you have their back. Now, what about exits, Chuck?
Well, AutoStrike also gives you the potential profit from the trade, so you always know the exit you can shoot for.
And of course, guys, in the master classes, he's going to show you how you can set an early profit target if you'd like to just set it and forget it. I know some of you guys really like that. He's got you covered there. Now, Chuck, is there anything else we should know?
Well, actually, Graham, I do have another free bonus for the first 199 members in the door today. This is a surprise bonus.
Ooh, interesting.
Originally, my team wanted me to program AutoStrike to only give you one income signal per day. That way, we could sell a more elite version of it down the road with 2 to 3 entries per day and charge 2 to 3 times as much. Well, we may still do that, and the price would likely be $4,995 per year, and I might say worth every penny. But if you take one of the 199 spots today, you're going to get grandfathered into the elite version of the AutoStrike for free. Meaning, starting today, you can get up to 3 income signals sent to you, options criteria included, from AutoStrike each day. And if we launch the $4,995 version in the future, you won't have to pay an extra penny. You'll be grandfathered in.
That is amazing, guys. And that's all the more reason to take one of the legacy lifetime spots today. So your subscription timer doesn't run out and you miss out on this grandfathered access. Guys, click that link in the chat right now to sign up for AutoStrike. We'll get an update here from the team in just a moment, but I know that we have tons of spots off the board. And again, there's new trades waiting for you today. Now let's pop into the chat, Chuck, and answer some questions for folks here in the room. And again, I'm going to leave this slide up so you can always see the link to join or who to call. Awesome. Now, how did they receive the alert? Guys, the alert will be posted for you each and every morning in the portal. It's automatically generated by AutoStrike every morning. So you can check in the morning, you can check in at lunch, you can check in the afternoon. It will be posted for you. What percent are winning trades and what percent are losing trades? Well, Ron, this is a software that picks all of the options for you. Chuck has personally been able to take them with a very, very high win rate. But of course, that'll be up to you and which ones you take or which ones you pass on. The phone line seems to have a very long wait. Maybe leave our name and email to get in as one of the 195. Good question, Sandra. Guys, post your name and email if you want to save your spot. Now, of course, I can't actually promise that we're going to have spots left by the end of this. I apologize. I understand that the phone team is booked. But guys, if you are wanting to get in right now, just click that link in the chat and sign yourself up right now while the phone team is still working through all the calls. Barbara's on hold too. Yeah, guys, I apologize for the long line on the phones. We're working through them all right now. Lewis doesn't have a guarantee yet. Chuck's giving you 7 days to try it out. And if after that you don't love it, you can call in. But I think you guys are going to love it when you see that this thing is doing everything for you. I mean, how many of you guys have seen a tool that can pick options for you? And it's not just blindly picking options based on tickers you might see or someone else tells you about. No, this is going through vetting the stock. And then there's going to be a couple stocks that pass that first vetting process. And then it's going to sort through all the different options of each of those and find the ones with the best odds of working out. Today's trade, Salio, today's trade will be in the members area once you get your login. When will we get the login? Guys, we have a ton of people joining right now. I'm sure the system is processing everything at the moment. Give it 5-10 minutes for that login to hit your email, and then you'll be able to see today's newest entry. Oh, there you go. Robert's in. He's already made 2 trades today. I love it, Robert. Good stuff. No, you don't need to download Telegram, guys. This is all, it's on an internet browser, so you can access it from your phone, computer, laptop. You can be anywhere in the world. You could be on an airplane and go just log in and see the newest trade alert from the day. Robert, are the examples using one contract or multiple contracts? It was based on just a fixed starting stake. Now, let me just go back here and I'll just show you guys, because like Chuck said, you know, they're going to be different entry prices, but $393, that's very cheap. This one's $1,600. Maybe you pass on Netflix and take the next one, $700, $388. So you guys can see the various different entry prices there. All in all, though, with all those trades, it looks really, really, really good. Do you need to connect a broker so the trades are automated? Paulo, you can use any brokerage you prefer. You just log into the portal. It'll give you the exact options to take, and then you can just copy and paste them over to your brokerage account. David, I'm not so sure on that. Solo's an awesome. Okay, Beth, we will have you take care of. She said that she had an issue with the page, but it said it went through on her credit card. Beth, give us a call, and they might be able to walk you through. And again, I say give us a call, but I heard that the team is totally swamped with calls right now. Chuck, do you know what the average hold time is here?
Average hold time is 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes more, sometimes
awesome. And that's
less.
just the secret sauce, guys, behind this high win rate, high probability trade. RV Hannings, no one is answering my question about the cost of lifetime. I'm not exactly sure what it's at. Raleigh, do you mind jumping in here and giving us some feedback on the lifetime? I actually am not sure exactly what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you sign up for the one-year program for $18.95, which Chuck is an amazing price, another page will pop up and give you the option to upgrade to lifetime. Now the upsell price is $2,995. So you add $29.95 to $18.95, and you will have this program for lifetime. And that means, once again, you'll never pay another penny for this system. So it's tremendous cost savings for you, in particular using it over time. But what's really amazing to me is that Chuck is granting you 5 additional licenses. So once you get the lifetime, you can share it with a son, a daughter, your wife, a friend, up to 5 different licenses, and each one of those is lifetime. And Chuck, that's just so generous of you to do that, but I know you said that's how you want to get this in the hands of as many people as possible.
Yes, this is my legacy, Raleigh.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, folks, whether you go with the one-year program or the 2-year program or the lifetime program, it's all backed by a 7-day money-back guarantee. There's an awful lot of things that you can do with this program in 7 days. Chuck's convinced you're going to love it, but for whatever reason, if you're not satisfied with it, he and his team will refund every penny of your investment, regardless of which selection that you make.
Awesome. Ray, if you're having an issue on the page, give the team a call. Does anyone know, are the phones able to, are you still on hold, or are they getting through now? Looks like Glenn is in. Jeffson, John, Anthony, Barbara, Miranda, Fred, Hector, Anthony. Awesome, guys. There are just tons and tons of people joining today. Very exciting. Again, some of you guys have already taken the trades. Awesome. Thank you, David. Rich says he's been on hold for over 20 minutes. Hopefully, Rich, were you able to click the link in the chat and get started there? John's still on hold. Yes, Dan. Shannon's asking what time of day do the alerts come out? They're normally posted sometime in the morning. Chuck, do you know the exact time, roughly, what they'll be posted in the morning from AutoStrike? Obviously, you don't want it to send it to you right at 9:30 because so much can change at the market open.
Yes, yeah, it's usually within an hour or two of the market open.
Gotcha. Awesome. We're getting some people saying they're getting errors on the page.
Yeah, for whatever it's worth, I just clicked on the link and it went right through for me, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, James. Yeah, interesting. Well, guys, we promise we'll get you taken care of. We want to make sure everyone here who is taking action today gets the spot honored as well.
Yeah. And if you're unsure, folks, once again, don't get frustrated. Just leave your name and your phone number here with us, and we'll have, Chuck's customer service team is going to give you a call, and we'll make sure that we answer your questions, and we'll process your order over the phone. So I know a lot of people, Chuck, are just concerned that they're going to miss out on the special pricing. So I think if they get their name and their phone number in here, we'll get that right over to the sales team. So it can be.
Yeah, and Raleigh, I see here you posted in the chat here the pricing structure for the 1 year, the upsell to lifetime, the 2 year, and then the 7-day money back guarantee. So any questions on the pricing, folks, just look at Raleigh's post there. He has all the details.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, Raleigh, well, why don't you catch us up to speed? I know we had a lot of chats here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there were there were some questions there, Chuck, once again, as to what type of option, what level options do people need to have to be able to take advantage of this, Chuck? Some people were wondering, are these sophisticated things? Are these naked options? Are these credit spreads? Is it level 1, level 2, that type of a thing?
Yes, it's usually level 2 or 3. These are not naked puts, and they're not credit spreads.
Okay. Very, very straightforward there. And folks, once again, just want to remind everybody that this is the first ever time that Chuck is being made this available. So this is a premier event, which is exciting from that standpoint, but it's not like it just came out of the out of the workshop yesterday. As I mentioned in my introduction, this is 40 years in the making. As Chuck said, this is his legacy. 40 years of trading have culminated in this package, this automated system that went, that now it has the capability to generate 2 to 3 trades per day. And Chuck, I know there's a massive amount of work that went into programming this. And of course, these are real time. So, I mean, you're accessing data and information in real time. You're crunching it. You're running it through a series of filters, and your system, your algo, is only presenting those that meet your very strict criteria.
Yes, and the trade selection process that the algo uses, of course, is the trade selection process I've been using for decades for this option strategy. So I've been trading this in real time for a long time, have great success with this. So we built this algo to go out and look at millions of options and apply our trade selection process that I've been using in real time for decades.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen anything like this in the trading markets, in the options markets. I've never seen an automated system like this that scans literally millions of options to find the trade that meets our criteria.
That meets your criteria. And I know, Graham, you had mentioned we all know systems out there that have the ability to potentially identify stocks, that are worth looking into. But so many people are wondering, well, what's the option that I should be playing on that? And Chuck, you provide not only the underlying stock, but you're actually showing precisely what the option is. And everything is, you're sharing everything that somebody needs to know to decide if that's a trade that they want to take.
Yes, that's exactly why I designed this program, to search those millions of options and give you the exact strike price and expiration date that meets our criteria for selecting options trades.
Mm-hmm. And actually, it's funny that this is happening right now. This morning on my morning show, we were doing a trade on the stock ED, which I hadn't traded before. And so we did all this work to find a stock, one that we really liked. And then I pulled the options and they were just no good. So that's frustrating. We did another stock. I did all the work vetting it, looking for it, and I pulled the options. There's no good. What's cool about AutoStrike is it's going to do all that for you. So you don't have to worry about going and doing stock selection and making sure the options are liquid. No, it's already going through that automatically for you, saving you lots of time and headaches, and then sending it for you teed up on a silver platter.
Sure. And Chuck, I think you also mentioned, and Graham, you harped on it as well, this is a strategy that has survived the test of time. This is not something that's just enjoying results in these crazy volatile markets that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. As you said, Chuck, this has been your selection process going back over 40 years. So it has survived the test of time.
Yes, it has. And I've traded through bear markets, flat markets, and everything in between using this strategy. That's why I like the ability of this strategy to profit even when the stock goes down. That's key. That can lead to a higher percentage of winning trades and give you that edge that you need to succeed in trading options.
Sure. So Chuck, some people also, another question that was being asked, appreciating that this is a very, very solid strategy, but not every trade's going to be a winner. In those circumstances, when the trade goes against you, do you manage your exit, or are you basically forfeiting your investment on that particular trade and you move to the next one?
No, we manage the trade, and we're going to explain that trade management in detail in the upcoming masterclass.
Ah, that's great. Awesome. So folks, once again, that's kind of key, because a number of us, this is not, Chuck, you had talked about how most people trade the markets, buying a call, buying a put, heavy directional trade, things of that nature. And you shared with everybody what's potentially wrong with that is that the market's almost rigged against you. And so your strategy here, and folks, you have to kind of go back to the foundational components that Chuck talked about. When you're picking something that's deep in the money, with a relatively long expiration, you're going to do well as long as the price doesn't drop below that strike. And Chuck, once again, I know you well enough to know that you enjoy making money, but you also keep a pretty sharp eye on what the risk is, the risk to reward of your strategies. And so, once again, folks, you need to have level 2 or level 3 to place this particular trade, but it really does it's an edge. Chuck, pure and simple, this is an edge.
Yes. Yep. And the nice thing about it, Raleigh, is that the profit potential and the risk ahead of time before you even take the trade. So if you see a trade you don't like, you can simply just pass on that, knowing that there's going to be plenty of more opportunities down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Sorry,
I was just going to say, people, it looks like the page is working good. We just tested it on our end. Rich just said he finally got through, so he's in for life. Awesome, Rich.
Fantastic, guys. Yeah. Terrific. Wow, my gosh, awful lot of people here still with us here at this point in time, and this is terrific. And I'm not surprised, Chuck. I'm not. Yeah, we do have some. We do have some new traders here, and we refer to them affectionately as newbies, but they're wondering, Chuck, is this something that a new person, definition being, has never really placed a stock trade or an option trade? Is this something for them, or is this a bit too advanced?
Well, we give exact instructions on how to enter the trade.
Right.
And if members have any questions about that, we're going to cover that in detail in the upcoming masterclass on Thursday.
Awesome.
Right. And you also include the options training as part of the program here, which is something that people can get into. I guess my editorial comment would be this, folks. If you are absolutely just brand new to trading, if that's stock trading, there's two things, in my opinion, that you need to do. Number one, align yourself with an appropriate mentor. And I can't think of anybody much better than Chuck as your mentor. And secondly, you're investing in a system that's doing really the hardest part of the job, which is identifying the high probability trade. And then it's serving it up to you with everything that you need to know to place the trade. So if you're brand new to trading, your focus then is just going to be learning the mechanics of how you enter that trade into your broker platform. That's what you have to focus on, because once again, Chuck's system is giving you the trade, everything that you need to do. Open up a paper trading account, prove to yourself that you know how to enter those options, get in and out of them. And once you're absolutely comfortable, start small. And to that point, Chuck, I know that all of your examples were based on 5K, but you're not suggesting to people here that you must have 5K on every trade. I think you said a single option would be around 500 on average. Is that correct?
Yeah, 500 to about $750 on average. And of course, that's going to depend mostly on the price of the underlying stock. So if you have a high price stock, obviously the option trade is going to be more expensive. So we have some higher price trades, and then we have some lower price trades also.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And guys, remember, the cool thing here is that you're grandfathered into the new elite version of it as well, where you'll get more than one a day. So maybe today, I'm just going to make it up, I haven't seen it today, but maybe it's NVIDIA today and another stock, and one is trading for $1,000 in the contract, the other's at 300. Maybe you just take the one that's 300 a contract, and then you have plenty of opportunities each and every day. So it's not like you're cut off.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, exactly.
The master classes, guys, those will be recorded and posted in the members portal if for some reason you're not able to make them. Guys, if you're having issues signing up, post your name and number and email in the chat, please. It's private. It's not going to be shared with everyone, but we'll get it to our team to make sure you can get one of those 199 spots that we've opened up today.
All right, folks. So once again, I think more people are starting to get through, which is just great. And folks, once again, we do have, once we exit here, we've got your information here. We will share it with our sales team, and they'll give you a call. Let's see, I'm looking for some other, gosh, we've answered so many questions here, and it was a very comprehensive presentation. I want to make sure I don't overlook. Folks, we have so many comments here. If we didn't answer your question, if you don't mind, could you repost it? Because we literally have hundreds of comments here in the chat, and I want to make sure that we don't miss anything that was said. So if you don't mind, just repost your question.
Barbara got cut off from the call. We'll get you taken care of, Barbara. Raleigh, are you able to send the phone numbers and emails to Chuck's team? If so, I'll hook you up with that connection.
Yeah, I need that connection. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We will get you guys taken care of. Again, I apologize. I know that we had so many people joining today. It seems like we had a little bit of a lag on the phone team or on the page. We got that all squared away now. You should be good to go. If you have any issues at all, just try again right now or give us a call 828-318-8810. And again, post your name, number, and email in the chat if you had an issue and you'd like us to save one of your spots.
Chuck, some people may have not heard what you said initially, but did I hear you correctly that in most cases you issue those alerts sometime in the morning, and your recommendation would be to try to get in before the end of the closing of the market that day?
Yeah, that's a great point, Raleigh. This is not day trading. So if you're busy throughout the day, you can log on before the market close, get the trades, and put the trade in. And probably half the time, if you wait till the afternoon, you might even get a better entry price, depending on the market conditions. So you don't have to be glued to your computer. If you're busy, it's not urgent to take the trade the exact second that you receive it. This is position trading, and half the time if you wait a little bit, you'll even get a better entry price.
Sure.
Awesome. Here's a question from Ravon, and he had an error on his purchase, and the reason for the error was this transaction has been declined. So that's just a function of your bank declining the transaction. So you probably have to contact your bank and let them know that it's okay to process your credit card.
Awesome. These weren't rollover examples, guys. These were just straight up income trades. So if you wanted to use one of Chuck's rollover processes to bank maybe even bigger profits, he'll teach you how to do that too. But this is just a base gain. Awesome. Barbara, I'm not sure. Did you send your email or your phone number in here? I got your email. I apologize. I'm kind of scrambling here through the chat just to make sure that the team gets the
and I'll sift through it also, Graham.
Okay, cool.
To make sure that we've got everything covered too.
Awesome.
And Richfield says, I finally got through. I'm in for life. Thank you, Richfield. Thanks for
outstanding. That's great.
Thanks for your support.
That is great. Will this work in a volatile market? Mary's asking. Mary, to answer your question, actually, I should say over 20%. Do you guys remember what's happened in the markets over the last few weeks? Stocks have been crashing. Pulled out 9 winners during that stretch there, and that's just a handful of the examples there that you can see. So look at the exit dates. Right in the middle of March when things were ugly, but still a lot of opportunity there. So it actually is designed to work in very volatile markets. In fact, like Chuck showed you earlier, because of these special options that it's selecting, it's not normal options that most people are trading. Most people completely overlook them. But with these options, because they're so far down here, so far deep in the money, they're pretty hidden from most people. Stock can even fall, go against you. It can be crazy volatile, and in this case, still pay for you. So again, the cool thing about Auto Strike, it doesn't just give you the ticker. It doesn't just give you the options. It doesn't just give you the entry price, but it also shows you how far it could fall and still pay. So in this case, HWM could have fallen 11.7%. This is a really strong stock. It's been in a beautiful trend for a very long time. It's probably not going to fall that much, and that's why the win rate's so high. We'd have to go all the way down there for it to be a loser. In this case, that didn't happen. You would have had another winner, $1,225. Remember, guys, it gives you these options that have winning scenarios across the board, whether the stock's going up, whether it's flat or falling down. We want to see wins across the board. All green lights means that we have a high probability income opportunity. In this case, $1,691. That was probably one of the better returns there. It looks really, really awesome right now. So, guys, click that link in the chat to take one of the spots. And I know that we have a lot of spots filling up right now. Actually, I just heard from the team. It looks like about half the spots are already gone, guys. So again, we're only 30 minutes in here to signing up people, and half the spots are already gone. So guys, click that link in the chat. Be sure to join today and get the newest entry signals right away.
Okay, folks, that is the end of the presentation. If you have any questions that weren't answered yet, please post them in the chat and I will try and answer them before we close this out in a couple of minutes. If, pardon me, if you don't want to purchase online and you're having trouble getting through on the phones and you'd like us to call you, please put in your name and phone number and our team will reach out to you as soon as they're free from inbound calls. For those of you that already sent in your name and phone number, you don't need to do it again. We have it. It's been sent over to the team. Just want to make one more announcement so that anybody who's still having trouble placing an order can lock in the pricing and their spot. There's still a few spots left. Put your name and phone number in, and we will get our team calling out to you. Charles, so these are these are spreads that are primarily buying and selling calls. I hope that answers your question. But all of that is laid out for you by the tool. When you log in and you pull up the tool and you see what it has found for the day, you click on it to get the details, and it tells you exactly buy this call, sell that call, gives you the strike prices, tells you what you should be paying for them and what you should be selling them for, and pretty much does all of that selection work for you. You just need to basically go into your brokerage account and copy what's the tool is showing you, and then put it into the brokerage account and execute the trade if that's what you want to do. So so they are debit spreads. Yeah. They're debit spreads. Let's see. Catherine, if you are having trouble with the purchase, I suggest you call us on the phone and the sales team will help you out. So I'm not exactly sure whether that's like a credit card issue or order form issue or whatever. If you're looking to get the VIP, the lifetime, and you're having trouble with that, you can call in. If you already got the initial membership and then having trouble with the VIP, just call in and they can upgrade you for the same price as it would be online. Charles, no, so level 1 cannot be used. You basically need level 2 permissions, I believe. And I posted a link in the chat a little bit earlier. We have a guide on how to get those permissions in your account. I believe it requires level 2 for these for most brokers. Don't have that information immediately at my fingertips. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
The profits and performance shown today are not typical. You may lose money. We all know this, guys. The trades expressed are based on real-time signals from AutoStrike and take.
Let's see. I believe it is. Yeah, I don't have specifically like explicitly stated in the information that I have. I believe it's a level 2 options for debit spreads for most brokers, but you'll just have to ask your broker and the guide will help you with what to say to them. You know, our running theory is that they shouldn't tell you how to trade. You should, be telling them. it's their advantage to make more money off of you, trying to keep you at level one, because it means you have to be correct directionally in order to make money. But the level two isn't riskier. It's actually safer. Doing the spreads is safer. There's less risk than just doing level one, buying a call or buying a put, or selling a call, selling a put. But the trades are a little more complicated to put together. But you have the advantage of the trades being put together for you automatically by Chuck's system. So he's doing, and his system is doing, all of the, kind of heavy lifting of putting these trades together. And you just have to enter them into your brokerage account. And that gives you the kind of best combination of things, which is the more complicated trade, which then gives you less risk. They're doing the complicated part. You're just entering it into your brokerage account, and you're getting the benefit of, the system's capabilities and Chuck's knowledge, and the reduced risk by having that kind of more complicated trade, without having to do the complicated part yourself. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, but you do have to get that permission from your broker. And I posted a link to a guide, our level 2 guide. I also posted earlier something for paper trading. So if you're not familiar with paper trading, what paper trading is what they call a practice account, where you open a paper trading account, you execute the trades, you enter the trades the same way you would normally, but it doesn't actually spend your money. There's no actual investment. It's all simulated, but it's simulated in exactly the same way, exact same interface and everything that it would be if you were entering in real trades. So you can become familiar with your brokerage account and how to do the trades. You can also see how much you would have made or lost on each trade, so you know whether the strategy is working for you or whether you understand the strategy correctly. And then once you feel confident that, okay, you've done this X number of times and you feel successful with it, you would be making money. Okay, now we're going to switch from paper trading to a funded account and trade with real money. So that's really only for people who have never traded before. But you still need the permissions. When you do paper trading, they don't care about what you do with paper trading, because it's not real money. So you can do whatever you want with that. Once you go from paper trading to actual trading, you have to have those permissions in your account. So look at that guide. The guide will tell you about paper trading. The other guide will tell you about level 2 permissions, and you should be all set. There's also training that explains how the trades work and how the spreads are developed, and when you make money and when you don't, what conditions have a negative outcome, and why the strategy works so well. All that's in the members area for you right now. So once you join, you'll get access to the members area. You'll have access to the training, and then once you feel comfortable with what you're doing, and you have your account set up, if you don't already, then you can start taking the trades that you see in the tool, and go from there. All right, so I think we've answered everybody's questions. I've gotten everybody's information. We appreciate you being here with us, spending all this time with us, sticking around until the end. I suggest you write down the phone number, pardon me, 828-318-8810, because I'm going to close out the webinar in a second, and then a question is going to pop in your head that you forgot to ask, and you'll at least have the phone number where you can call and get your answer. So good luck in your trading, and we'll hope to see you on the live calls and masterclass. So there is a masterclass in about a half an hour on this program. So make sure you look for that when you join. If you just joined today, make sure you look for the information for the masterclass that's supposed to be at 1 p.m. Eastern time. If you don't see it in the members area, you can call the phone number and get them to send you the link. I don't have it, unfortunately, and obviously I can't give it to everybody because it's for members only, even if I had it. But look for that in the members area. It should be posted in there, and you can jumpstart your training in this program by attending that masterclass in 30 minutes. So hope to see you there. Have a great day, folks. Good luck in your trading.